We are here and we are back, and what an amazing sight this will be. It's Singapore under the lights, of course, under the lights, perhaps in a bit of raining conditions, but F1 is definitely under the spotlight. Welcome along to round 17 of this Formula One Championship, which could very much be decided tonight there with the old Max Verstappen, the Orange Army in 2022. We're here for the Singapore GP in the city, the garden, one of the greenest cities in the world. But tonight we're focused on that 3.1 miles of tarmac tonight. Singaporea, meaning Lion City, is where Singapore divides its name. It's the home of the first night race in Formula One. This country that becomes a racetrack back in early June. They start to lay out that 108 kilometers of cable, making up the circuit of light that is 4 times more brightly lit than the average stadium. We've had a safety car here every single year on record for 100% of the times. Tonight, it looks like we may very much have another safety car. 23 corners, 14 to the left, 9 to the right, and about a 300-meter runoff from pole down to turn 1. But at the moment, there is a bit of confusion because I think the heavens have opened and Singapore has now giving us a little bit of the rain that we saw during the free practice sessions, and the FIA are obviously going to decide when they're going to start the race. Not if, but when. And of course, I am Biggles back at it again for the very first time casting at racing statistics for the race, and also for the first time casting in racing statistics for the race is Feral. And Feral, my friend, I think you brought a special guest along.
Yes, I am sitting here in my little commentator booth at home in Switzerland with a delicious pizza. Yeah, and the guest, of course, I'm having Felix Forrer with me. He is driving in the European Championship of the FIA Autocross thing. Damn, that was bad. Anyways, I got Felix Forrer with me. Current standing 14th in the
Yes,
European
14th.
Championship. 14th. All right.
Can you
So, yeah,
repeat
he
that
just-
again? Sorry, I missed that one. Clarify what is he racing in again?
The FIA Autocross Championship, the European
Auto-
Championship this year, first time, second time.
Yes, first time.
Excellent. That
So,
sounds
yeah,
good.
I
So
guess
what do you drive in the autocross? What kind of team and vehicle?
So I have the privat team. They're all on the place have a privat team, and the vehicle is a self-made buggy with 4WD on the mat. So with wie heißt das?
Wow.
With
Yeah, English isn't not your
motorbike
first
engine.
language, mate.
Oh,
So, well, obviously, and I apologize for my English as well as yours, but that's fine. Like, we'll clarify that. But your own custom buggy. I mean, at the moment, guys, this rain delayed race start at the
yeah,
moment.
and I'm
Rain
fairly
delayed.
certain.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain his German is better than yours.
yes.
I was going to say to that, but I couldn't translate it. But yes, it is. Welcome, everybody in the chat, of course. Thank you very much. I know that it was been about 200 also of you fantastic supporters here at this channel have been waiting with your raincoats, I guess, and your umbrellas sitting in the grandstands here at Singapore to find out whether or not we get this race underway. Well, at the moment, safety car is driving on track at the moment, like it was during some of those practice sessions earlier. It's pretty wet. And you, as a race driver, my friend, our celebrity guest, you've driven in rain conditions before. How does it feel?
Yeah, I like rain races, so I can handle it very good. And for me, it's yeah, very normal, perfect conditions. You don't have too hot in the car, so yeah, it's okay for me. For the other drivers, it's very critical because yeah, they don't like it, and yeah, it's from person to person. Uh, just think
Yeah,
other.
but that is actually quite a fair point. I've never thought about. In a rain race, you got basically water cooling systems installed in your car, whether you want them or not. So yeah, fair point. Never thought about that. But if you're looking at that safety car, I do not think we will see any sort of Formula
Oh,
One car on that track
yeah.
at the moment. Like
All right,
that
to
slow
let you
motion.
guys know, all right. Now,
Damn.
this is 1 degree north of the equator of Singapore. Of course, it is the tropical climate. You don't usually get this kind of rain at nighttime in Singapore, which is one of the reasons why they had Singapore at nighttime. we all remember Malaysia, right? The Malaysia GP, it's a little bit further up there in the latitude, and it buckets down, and it actually buckets down in Singapore at about race time, like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon generally, but of course at nighttime they've extended that. Doesn't generally rain that heavy at nighttime in these parts of the world, so this is something unusual. They was kind of like the climate's there, but what I know from my experience where I've been around the world and lived, that the rain that comes in these parts of the woods, so I'm saying the woods is in, of course, this part of the equator, it rains heavy and then it's dry very quickly. So that pace car at the moment out there, the safety car, is going to go lap by lap by lap by lap to get rid of that standing water because there's no rain coming down anymore. If it is, it's only drizzling. It'll be dry pretty quickly. So that'll be the question. When will the drivers go out to start this race, guys?
I would think the race start will be delayed by about 30 minutes. Because if you only have one pace car going around the track, that's going to take a long time to clear it of any standing water. I mean, good news is it isn't really raining anymore. So we got some quite
Yeah.
interesting starting procedures, as you will have to start on an
You
inter
get to
at
see
least, if not a full wet.
GT3 car, mate. And the old Mercedes GT3 car going around track at the moment, just exactly pictures. Why isn't Rain commentating, casting, of course, this event this week? We've given him a break. He needs a holiday. So at the moment, and Rain, of course, we miss him. He will definitely be back for the next race for casting here at Racing Statistics. But yeah, come on, you got to give a caster a holiday at least. So I appreciate him and enjoy your vacation, my friend. You're going to be stuck with myself, Biggles. You're going to be stuck with Feral. You're going to be stuck with an actual racing car driver. And you're stuck with a bit of rain around Singapore for a little bit.
That's not a bit of rain. That's like torrential. I don't know what the FIA regulations say about that, but I think you would be in with a very good chance if you just built a boat or something for this Grand Prix.
It's not raining at the moment. There is the pictures that we're seeing. We got Mr. Jacques Villeneuve out there. I mean, yeah, and once again, we're seeing one of the drivers that we saw during the free practice sessions as well, which I can't remember his name off the top of my head pre-show. But there is no rain coming down on everybody in the pit lane and pit garage is hanging out there. So once again, it's just a matter of the standing water. How much you're going to get it off the track before you get the cars ready to go rolling around the streets of Singapore. And once again, guys, what's the biggest prize here in Singapore? Max Verstappen. Can he wrap up the championship? Well, we know currently his qualifying performance, and that was a bit of a controversy, of course, is like in, out, and in, out. Well, it didn't pay off. He's going to start in P8 for this race. And a lot of work to do, but we only have to roll back a couple of races before, haven't we? Then Max Verstappen can start at the back of the field and still win a race. So anything's possible when the Orange Army is in town.
Well, if we are going by the purely statistical value of things, I gotta say Max wins this because this season so far, 100% of the cases where Leclerc had a pole position, we saw Max Verstappen win the race.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of which, once again, our celebrity guest here this evening, a racing driver. Can you repeat your name again? Sorry, because I know I didn't quite get that, Feral. It was not on a piece of paper that was washed away. What was your name again? Sorry.
Felix.
Felix. Okay, now Felix, once again, as a celebrity guest racer. At the moment, we are once again just filling the void in because the race is being delayed for a start. Felix, all right. Once again, you've raced the cars, you've built your own cars, you're in a championship at the moment.
Yes.
How does it feel to be on the other end? Like you're up in the casting box for once and not behind the wheel of a motor car?
Yeah, I had last week a double header, so it's really relaxed to sit here and look the other guys drive around the track in the rain. So for me, it's really relaxed. My season is end, so yeah, really
Your
relaxed.
season has ended already?
Yes,
How many sorry, yeah, how many races do you have in your full season?
the FIA says maximum 10 races, but yeah, I'm still a little bit in school, so I just can turn 8 races. Yeah. So for
And this
me,
is
eight
what you get all
races.
the time here at Racing Statistics, guys. I mean, because yesterday, the other day, free practice 3, we had a very quick esports driver chatting to us. We had a little while ago, like a few races ago, we actually had the F1 DHL Caster of the Year award, and she was in here to chat to us. And now we have real racing drivers in here to chat to us. So look what is occurring over and over again here at Racing Statistics. You're getting real people in real situations to come and hang out with you guys, because I think at the end of the day, isn't it? We kind of like we're trying to push that trivia, aren't they, to the people in chat, because they know everything there is to know about motor racing, and we enjoy you guys for being a part of Yana, of course, yes, but we love you guys here. So pick this man's driving brain right now of motorsports. Well, he is here as a celebrity.
Yeah, sure. Feel free in the chat. Whatever questions you ever wanted to ask a racing driver, ask away. I can already tell you he despises pineapple on pizza. So I made myself a job from eating as much pineapple on pizza around him as
And
I
by the way, they're
possibly
only saying
can.
this at the moment, guys, because you're not here in the casting box with me. They're eating pizza right now. That's like their mouth is full of pizza right now, with minus the pineapple, which is fine because we've been to that debate beforehand in Italy, of course. But we had down into the Singapore sling, of course, and spicy foods are down here, my friend. This is where you get a cuisine mixed with everything you can possibly find. A bit of Asian cuisine, Middle Eastern cuisine. You
It
got
looks
the
like they
Pacific
are
cuisines, of
getting
course.
ready to
Yeah.
start fairly soon. We get another update in about 5 minutes from now. But we see a lot of pictures of armies of marshals going over the track with brooms to clear off all of that standing water, which I think will be more efficient than having the safety car just drive lap after lap, trying to get things out of the way.
That is a good one, because we saw that during the free practice 3 session as well too. It's when we're looking at the fantastic Marina Bay Sands Hotel. But on top of it, yeah, I mean, you guys know that I was kind of asking that question, of course, to Emar, that was a esports driver, but he couldn't tell me how many liters of water is displaced on a wet weather tire on a Formula One car. You guys should know those engineers.
Well, I know this with the Formula One car. Curious, Felix, do you know how many liters of water gets displaced at a speed of 300 kilometers an hour per second?
I think around about 10 liters. The, or 40s, 10 or 40s liter.
It's 30.
30.
30 liters on the
Near
intermediate
to it,
tire.
near to it.
Yeah, and about 60 to 70 liters on the full wet.
That's a lot of water.
That's a lot of water. That's about, I don't know, 2 seconds of driving to displace the amount of water you have in your bathtub if it's filled up.
Yes, absolutely correct on that one.
That's about, wait, my math just kind of broke. That's about 20 bottles of soda per second on the intermediate tire.
Is it
Nice.
Red Bull's header? Anyway,
And
thank you very much, guys. We are delayed on a rain delayed start race here in Singapore, because the marshals are out there sweeping up exactly all that water. But then again, you probably should throw a Formula One car around there,
Yeah,
obviously,
you know
in wet
what,
tires,
Biggles?
mate.
There
Yep.
you have your orange army. They're armed with brooms clearing the track.
Oh, yes, they are. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It looks funny with bottles. Well, you guys have tuned in, of course. And how long has it been? Well, 2019 since we've been to Singapore. Kind of feels like that pandemic is over, and it certainly is right now. We're back in traveling overseas We've been to Australia, we've been to Canada. Remember, we haven't been to them after the pandemic. Now we're in Singapore. We're going to be going to Japan. We're going to be at all the fly array races, of course, to wrap up the season. But obviously, uh, Mr. Max Verstappen, of course, the Super Max, could wrap this one up here this evening. But doing it from a little bit further back in his qualifying performance, has to pull it off. And on top of it, guys, you all know the information. I expect everybody in race statistics to know that Max Verstappen title could be decided if, let's go, he's champion if he secures fastest lap, and Charles Leclerc is 9-4 lower. Sergio Perez needs to be 4 lower. George Russell needs to be a second or lower. I'm really lost on those stats. I'll let you guys do that one, but you all know, obviously, Max Verstappen practically needs to win Singapore in a dominating style and get the fastest lap, and then see how it pans out for those Ferraris down the field.
The Ferraris should not do too bad here, as a car with the drivers, they seem comfortable on the track, or as comfortable as you can feel around one of the hardest tracks of the season. Thing is, yeah, I already call it. Strategists will flush that one down the toilet once more. I guess we're gonna get down to C plan.
And
least
that's a question to
plan
Felix,
and-
mate. Because as a race driver, I mean, on average, in a 2-hour race, which is always the average time in a Formula One GP in Singapore, the drivers will lose about four or so kilograms of body weight. Now, Felix, as a driver, not obviously in a Formula One car, but when you are driving, how much do you lose in body weight and hydration?
So our race are only sprint races, so around 10-15 minutes maximum, and there you don't lose very much, but your concentration must be very high because it's in the mud, and the track situation goes from lap to lap other, and yeah, so you must physically be 100% there for this 15 minutes, and that's very hard. And that's the same like here in the F1 car. The track will be drier and drier every lap. You can go faster, and yeah, it's very strong what they do there.
Do you do a lot of training like the Formula One drivers do? Is it neck pains, back pains? Like what? Any physical exercises that you do in a car? Of course, racing is very tough on your body.
Yeah,
Yes.
let me just quickly get in here and thank Jose Martinez for that super chat. We, of course, all do hope for a clean and exciting race, while, to be honest, I also kind of hope for, a little bit of carnage out there. And we just got the information in that the race procedure will start at 5 minutes past 8 in the evening.
It has
So
not been
basically
delayed by an
1
hour.
hour,
Somebody said that.
1 hour
No.
and 5 minute delay has
What?
just been confirmed.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. That is a lot of time considering the track is pretty dry. That is interesting. Of course, the track has still got puddles of water on it, but they've been sweeping that away. An hour delay, that is definitely surprising here. I have no idea why they've done that, because at the moment, everybody in
Maybe-
the audience that are looking at the pictures at the moment, the grandstands, people that spent hundreds of dollars to get there, and they're all on their phones right now as all the marshals are out there sweeping water going, why are we going to wait another hour? That is definitely surprising for us, and I apologize for you guys out there.
Yeah,
that are
maybe we
watching
got
as well.
another Monaco situation where just some systems couldn't handle the water and shorted out or something. Maybe
Nah,
the
mate.
starting lights are not
You roll
working.
back 20 years in Formula One, that this would be a go situation any day of the week.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
we can only just describe pictures to everybody out there, but it does not look bad at all. There's no rain on the horizon. I just looked at the weather radar. It's not coming in. There's no more rain scheduled. Well, of course, you can't schedule the weather, but it's not coming in. And track is drying, of course. They're sweeping it up. An hour delay is an overkill, I have to say.
Yeah, I feel like it's rather long. delay as well. But well, I'm not down there. I don't have boots on the ground, so
Well,
we
get down there. Come on. Jump down there and talk to him.
yeah, almost enough time to charter a flight, get down there. But anyways, I was interrupting you. We were talking about how harsh racing or autocross racing is going onto the body of our special guest here. So gonna go back to that.
Yeah, of course we have to because there's not a lot of action on track at the moment, guys. Once again, because of that delay, we'll give you the information. Trust me, those guys out there in the chat, guys and girls, everybody in the love community of racing statistics is very much aware of what's going on. We'll cast that information as we get it. But of course, we do have a celebrity guest in here, and we have a race driver of Felix who knows how to throw a car around a track. So ask those questions, and in chat as well. I'd like to ask you guys questions, guys and girls. Have you ever been racing before in real life? And do you like it? How much do you enjoy it? And ask the questions to a man that actually does race in a competitive racing series.
Yeah. Yeah. Not just give it back to how straining driving a race car actually is on the body. We were at the part of being just completely focused for that 10 to 15 minutes a autocross sprint race is taken. So I'd be curious, Felix, do you have any like traditions or rituals you go through before starting a race?
Uh, yes, and then a half hour before the start, I go around the track, look at the track, how the conditions are, and before I jump in the car, basically warm up to be there at the start, to have the reaction time. Yes, so
How would you go
that's
in a
what I'm doing.
situation right now where the track is closed like it is because they can't go out on track, and
So
you can't feel these conditions? What would you do then?
by us, we race in the mud, so there must be really a catastrophe that the starts will be delayed. So I never had that the starts be delayed about 1 hour. So yeah, we
In
drive
your
on
sports,
every.
doubt they'd be delayed that much. Of course, in Formula One, it's like, risk lives, danger. I understand that. But that is
Yes.
interesting, isn't it? When you can't, I mean, but you do get the opportunity, obviously, to go out and track and do like a little bit of a practice session before your race. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have Saturday and Sunday race. So on Saturday is 2 rounds warm up, then Q1, Q2, and the first heat. And on Sunday is the race day that really depends on it. So the third heat, semi-final and the final. So yeah, we have much time to look at the track to get faster, and yeah.
Yeah, keep faster, of course, but a 1 hour delay in a Formula One GP. Now, obviously, 1 hour will go really quickly. Sorry about it, and we appreciate you guys because you can chat about everything. This is actually going to turn into another podcast at the moment, so you can talk about anything you want to talk about. We appreciate it. We can talk about, hey, yes, it's a joke, 1 hour delay. We don't know. We're not the marshals out there. We're not the ones that have to risk the 20 drivers on the grid there to say whether or not you're okay to go green flag, and then somebody bins it into turn 7 or 8 or 9, and then all of a sudden they're in a hospital, and then you're responsible for it. There's a lot of things at action that these days, as we all know in Formula One, that's the reason why safety cars come out pretty early during races. That when you want, there's a little bit of carbon fiber on a track, they call a safety car out. There is virtual safety cars for stuff like that. It's only because they're trying to protect the safety of drivers in Formula One. That's the reason why they do it. They don't want to take risks. Whether we agree or disagree with it, that's up to us. But if you're the person that has to make those decisions and responsible for the 20 drivers' lives on the grid, that's something else. So yeah, once again, you can't really like. I mean, debate all day about it, but you're not in that job. We're not in that job. But at the moment, what we can definitely agree with is the fact that we will not be starting this race anytime soon, even though we can look at these conditions and say, yeah, they're okay. There's also a question that Bernard, that's been driving that safety car, has been doing that for about 20 years, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, that German driver, touring car driver, can drive around track. He knows these conditions. He's driven it multiple times. And when they send that safety car out on track to do multiple laps, he can feel the conditions of the track. He knows it, even though he's in a GT3 car that's slower than a Formula One car. He's still very much the representative to race control and say, guys, do I feel this is safe enough for the drivers to start a race? That's crucial information that the FIA is going to be reported on. So I would have to trust in his decision, because man, you've been driving a safety car for that long, since the very first birth of safety cars ever existed in Formula One. Yes, take his word for it. And no doubt he said it's not ready.
Yeah, but another question I really wonder there is, if I'm looking at the track, I think that is good to go. You know, that track looks ready to start. I sure would dare drive on that. Question is, Felix, what do you think? Like, you're the driver here. You think the track is safe to start like that?
So I think no, because for the tires, one car, no problem. You say it around 70 liters can tire
This
go
place,
eat,
yes.
yes. But the problem is the following cars. So I think Leclerc on the first lap, no problem, but all following cars see nothing.
Spray,
That's
right?
dangerous here.
Yes, the
That's
spray.
really dangerous here in Singapore.
And we've
So
seen it before in Belgium. One of the biggest crashes, obviously, in Formula One went back to Spa many years ago when everybody was going blind into the first corner and couldn't see anything. It was one of the biggest crashes in Formula One. Thankfully, everybody was safe. And we just saw recently, didn't we, a Alfa Romeo, sorry, go into the fence in a dangerous situation, and that wasn't even in wet conditions. So there's a lot of things at play here. And that goes down back to the other question, like, all right, it is drivable. It's probably Inter's territory. However, you got everybody on a starting grid on cold Inter tires. Turning into remember, this is Singapore, right? Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, dangerously hard places to get it done. Then you go down the Republic Boulevard, turn 5, and then you go down Ruffles Boulevard flat out, and then to the braking zone of turn 7. These are things that are horribly hard to do on cold tires with everybody bunched up, 20 cars bunched up. They are thinking about that right now, and they're going, is it worth the risk? I don't know. I mean, in esports that I cast, everybody would go, of course, because you don't have your own life to
Yeah, but
risk.
there's no real lives on the line, and
Exactly. That's what I said. Yeah. I mean,
if you crash your car there, it's just like, all right, let's respawn it. Here you're probably looking at millions.
yeah, and
Of
well,
dollars of
lives, of course,
damage.
because esports is like you get to. It's like a game. You get one power up, lost a life, but you're back again. In real life, of course, you can't. And you got to talk turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. They're very tight. All it takes is 1 or 2 cars to go spinning across the track, and somebody goes flying into them on the side pods of a car, and you guys know that the front structure and the rear structure of a Formula One car is very, very safe with the crash structure, but the side pods in that area is still very, very iffy when it comes to safety. And if a car's flying at you at even 60 kilometers an hour, and it's just, what's the risk worth? We delayed for entertaining for an hour to protect the interest of the driver's safety. I don't think that's a bad gamble.
I think big part of that delay as well is that the FIA just couldn't really place a starting time, and those F1 cars are incredibly precise machines. And as far as I'm aware, they need about 40 to 45 minutes of preparation just to fire up the engine, just to get it up to temperature, get all the
Wow.
tolerances right, and so on. Like it's not
Hmm.
like your usual road car where you just hop in, turn a key, fire it up, and go. But the tolerances in an F1 engine are actually that minuscule that if the engine is cold, the parts can't physically move. So to start up a Formula One engine, you basically drain it of all the coolant and you pump preheated coolant in there until like the material basically stretches out due to the warmth. And then you get
That's why
heated
Jose
oil
has
in
agreed
there.
with you out there, my friend, as well too. The engines
Yeah.
need a lot of time
So
to
then
prepare.
you need to pump in the preheated oil and so on. And at one point where the engine is on temperature, to basically be working, you cut off all the external heat supplies. You seal up all well the seals there are to have a preheated circulation, and only then you can start to turn the crankshaft and so on. And it still needs time for the lubricants to get everywhere, so you're basically just dry turning the crankshaft by an electric, basically like a drill you stick in from the back, so the lubricants get everywhere they need to be. The heat gets everywhere it needs to be, and only then you are able to bring in fuel into the mix and start the engine.
And start your engines. Yeah, and that's the reason why you're starting your way into this race, of course, that's been delayed. But Farrell is a man that has engineering skills, a couple of certificates on the wall, as well as his AKA buddy there of Felix that is a race driver. So, well, guys, I mean, they're not sitting here like me, Biggles, that doesn't race cars and even know how to race them, and trying to talk about it. We've got two experts in here this evening, as well as you guys out there in the chat that are very much aware of that. And that's precisely, my friend, the preparation to getting a car. These machines, right, and this pinnacle of motorsports are not just something, as you said, you can't just put a key in and fire it up. And the poll out there at the moment, is it safe to start the race or wait for the official start time?
Yeah, well,
Hit that poll.
I personally got into the poll and say it is safe to start now. I think it really is. Felix, I think it would be safe to start, right? Yes, no? You're kind of making faces here.
Yes, so but I know how it is when you see nothing. You just blindly go to the corner and don't know are there a car, are there no cars? Is so 50-50 chance to go through the corner or completely crash.
Now, a
And
question to you. Sorry, to cut you off, man. Because I wanted to ask this question, I keep forgetting. Singapore is a 2 hour race. Now we're cutting into a delayed start. Does that mean we're still going to have 2 hours?
Yes. It is with broadcasting times. I think it's a 3-hour window you have where the race can take place, and you get a maximum time of 2 hours a race can be in duration. So if you start an hour late, you still get 2 hours of race time. But if we
All right,
would
thank you.
start two
Yeah.
and a half hours late, we only would get about 90 minutes of race
Yeah,
time.
they might have to cut the laps down, but at the moment, I still think we're in the window. Sorry to go back on, cut you on that one, Felix. Go back to your racing knowledge again, please.
so what did I say? Yeah, so I think it's not time to start yet because yeah, the chance that the car crash is very high and just not safe for
Would you,
the
as a
drivers.
race driver, go out in your real? I mean, as a real, you are a real race driver. Like, if these are the conditions right now, and you're in your pit lane, and you're talking to your team, and it's a debate, of course, because once again, these conditions are not all obviously just debated by one safety car driver going around. The FIA is going to also ask all the other teams, like, do you guys feel it's ready? There is a kind of a little thing called democracy, in motor racing. But if that was asked a question to you, like, do you feel it's ready to go? Would you want to go out right now as it is?
Yes, I ever want to race. So I'm
Okay.
nervous until the time I see it in the car and pull in the first gear, and then just focus. So I ever want to race when I'm be at a weekend. So yeah, I would race.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
that's actually quite fun.
That's an
When I've
interesting
seen him, like
question, guys.
he's
Do you guys
basically
think that?
crawling to his car because he's too nervous to walk, and then once he's sitting in his seat, puts it into first gear, he's there, like full
Yeah.
focus,
Yes.
Now
ready
we
as
had that
everything. But
we've had this situation before, haven't we? Back in the tire situation that destroyed, unfortunately, Indianapolis, where all I believe that 99% of the drivers that were in the Michelin tires wanted to race, but of course Michelin said no. The team said no. It became that kind of like debate. But coming to the situation right now, how much do you think it's happening? Like the FAA says, okay, should they ask all the 20 drivers on the grid, do you want to race? And if it's a democracy, if you get 50% or more that say yes, shouldn't they race?
So hmm, I think when over 50% says yes, the FIA knows what to do. They know about the risks, and yeah. So in our sport, they be very good with so moments and can all do, and it's safe. So I think the FIA do what the FIA does is okay, and he know what to do is what is to do. Fuck.
You're right, and then we have to go into the whole legal aspect. Remember, the F1 Association and the F1 Media Liberty Group is like a whole. It's not just like it's easy to answer a question like that as it looks, but remember, there's like legal aspects, there's financial, there's commitments, there's contracts. So once again, even if all the drivers, all 20 drivers said, "Yeah, let's go," bang, and then all of a sudden the driver bends into a wall and gets into hospital, then all of a sudden the teams or other sort of stuff will come out and go, why did they allow that race to continue, and that why did that driver get hurt? I mean, that's what's going to happen if a driver gets hurt. So it's once again, it's come back to that whole situation of who knows when, what, and what. Even if you were to give it to the drivers, I mean, obviously, you guys have. If you haven't seen that movie, haven't you? Rush, the movie Rush, James Hunt
never
versus.
seen it.
You have
No.
to watch that one. Obviously, James Hunt versus Nicky Lauda. And Nicky Lauda said, I don't want that race to continue. He raced in it, and that caused one of the very, very serious life-threatening issues to Nicky Lauda that caused, major burns to his body and all that sort of jazz. And so, yes, that will come back to that question as well, to do you start a race in conditions when a driver like Nicky Lauda said, no, I don't want to race, but it went ahead. Once again, we're just talking about stuff at the moment, guys, and we are only talking about stuff at the moment because there's nothing happening on track. It's delayed race start. So, what else can we
Well,
really talk about?
yeah, no, I think it's a fairly easy choice there. You get a team, they build the best car possible. You get a driver who tries to do the best things possible with the provided machinery he gets. If the driver is there and thinks it is not safe to drive, or I do not want to drive this under those conditions or whatever, it is always the driver's choice to just step back. If now, let's say, I don't know, Latifi thinks, yeah, okay, go, we drive, and Schumacher is there and is like, yeah, nah, don't feel safe under those conditions, we shouldn't drive. Well, they got different cars, different teams, they have different setups. We don't know what is going on there in particular, but I always think the driver's choice has to be respected.
Yep. And they do it usually during the conditions where the safety car's out on track and they're on a safety car. Most of the time, they will ask you guys have all heard it on team radio. They'll go, the teams will ask the drivers, go, are we going to go? Not, and the drivers they'll respond that information to the race control. And thank you very much. James is out there in the chat, of course. to James, Mr. Broadcasting James Network. There's a bunch of names out there in the chat that I haven't actually responded to, and I do apologize about that. And we should be because hey, there's no action on track, so we're slipping a little bit. And there's one Jose, of course, is always there. Whilst we talk about it, guys, once again, let's roll back to that qualifying session that we had yesterday. And of course, we have Rain out there in the chat. And Rain, I know I see you in the chat, mate. You do all the fantastic broadcasting for the qualifying and racing here at Racing Statistics. How was that qualifying session yesterday, guys? Any surprises?
Well, the whole Verstappen thing, that was pretty surprising.
So yeah, I think that what's happened with Verstappen was very weird. Yeah, we'll see. But I think in the race he will come on the podium. So he probably just make it to give Verstappen fun to go through the whole field and win the race.
Pit lane open in 5 minutes. Thank you very much. It will be. And on top of it, yes, you got to remember, Lewis Hamilton's been looking pretty strong. Fastest in first practice 1. Both the Ferraris got it done in free practice 2. There's a bit of a switcheroo that's happened over that one. It almost looked like the Hamilton was back in that the qualifying 3 session because he was sitting purple sector 1, I believe, or purple sector 2. Couldn't quite nail it on the 3rd sector. This is going to be interesting.
Half a second ahead of Leclerc's time there before he had to back out, but it made sense to back out because he was like out there doing his outlap, then trying to get a good lap time in, had to abort, went again, had to abort. Then he went again, and then the team told him to abort because, well, he did not have enough fuel left in the car. So if you are unable to provide the fuel sample, you get disqualified from the session.
That's
so
right.
basically,
Yes.
Red Bull's choice was: do we back out, not start on pole, and take that not very representative 8th place, or do we get a good lap in? Do we get a pole position time, get disqualified, and start in 20th? Well, it's Singapore. It's hard to overtake. Of course, they aborted the lap and went into 8th place rather than back off the grid.
And with changing conditions that's happening right now, very, very difficult to understand how the pit stop strategies will pan out. Because remember, we are going to be racing soon. This is no longer a practice session, no longer a qualifying session. So we had all those changeable conditions during those sessions. Now, when we get to race conditions, the teams have to crunch those numbers. That's going to be very interesting. So Max Verstappen, we've seen in the past, can get it done on track when there's massive overtaking opportunities. But you mentioned 23 corners around Singapore, probably only 2 or 3 if you're lucky and bold and brave to get an overtake done. Most likely into turn 7 out of Ruffles Boulevard with the DRS. Aside from that, yeah, it's anybody's game. Strategy, pit lane game. And on top of it, everybody knows at the moment the situation is just it's crazy. Now they're going to be gearing up. They're going to finally be ready. Now the track has been dried during the whole time that we've been in this race delay. That's as simple as that. We don't even really see pictures of drivers sweeping water off the track anymore because there is none. Well, finally, we'll get some racing soon, guys. Trust me.
I love to correct you on those little semantics, and of course, it's the marshals sweeping the water off the track.
Yeah,
not
sorry,
the
my
drivers.
bad.
It's just it's okay. I would love the picture of just like all the drivers in one row walking around the track, once everyone with a broom, kind of having
my apologies because
battle.
Watching F1 in the recent couple of years, it seems that they pull a fire extinguisher from a marshal and put a car out themselves. So that's why I kind of thought a driver was doing the marshal's job.
Yeah,
there
but
it
we
is.
do see. I do see pictures of the track now.
Yeah, all right. So let's describe this right now. They are lined up for a standing start, right? So they are actually out on the grid right now, in the grid positions for a standing still start. We don't know if it's going to be a standing still start or not, but they're ready.
Yeah, as it is starting procedure.
Can we go to a for the first time ever at Racing Statistics a Felix pit walk grid walk Felix
A Felix grid walk.
a
You feel up
Felix
for
grid
that?
walk go down there.
Yeah, well, all right. So, about 10 minutes grid walk with Felix. Take it away.
Yeah, Felix, go ahead. And
Anytime.
if you have any US celebrity that pushes you away,
All right, yeah,
we'll
no.
take care of that one.
Ooh, we see Verstappen leaving the pits there on
Full
a
wet tires.
wet tire.
Oh yeah, but they can change them on the grid, of course. They
Yeah.
don't have to
Oh,
start the
yeah.
tires.
Tires
Yeah.
look very new and shiny. So, my call. They are now getting the outlap done on a wet tire because to rubber them in basically to get that first production film of rubber off the tire and make it grippier. They will probably
Mm.
switch over to an intermediate or maybe even a slick tire on the grid, but it looks like the teams are all expecting rainfall and full wet
Yeah,
tires.
they're lining up at the moment, pit exit.
Yeah,
And it says
we also
starts
see
in
some
40
intermediates.
minutes. And the Haas driver's like obviously out of the garage there at the end of the field there. Haas can sneak in there. They have, and they also Aston Martin out at the moment, 1 and 2. And this is interesting because in esports, mate, even in esports, drivers do go out on wet tires on a dry track just to lay rubber down. So physics is
Yeah.
physics. It does work.
Yeah, well, it's basically with all that rainfall, most of the rubber has been washed up. So they are using wet and intermediate tires on one hand to get rubber laid back down into the track. On the other hand, to just get that first very slick film of the tire. On the soft tires, you see it in the box, this very shiny new tire. They're basically getting that shine of the tire, so it becomes grippier.
And
So
what's interesting is that if the race is going to be starting at the moment, the schedule in about 40 minutes. Why are they allowing the drivers out there right now? What are they going to
this
do for
This
40
is
minutes?
the completely normal starting procedure. They got the engines fired up, and now they're just all doing their first lap, getting onto the grid. And this is basically what you never see on TV elsewise. That is what happens before the cameras are turned on. They are all driving around the track once, going onto the grid. All the mechanics are coming out. All those boxes of tools are getting there. Drivers getting back out of the car. They're doing their warm-ups. Those tennis ball throwing things you
Yes.
always see them do.
Usually
and
when
so on.
Crofty's doing the track introduction, you're right. Yes, that's when they're
Exactly.
doing
Yes.
it.
That is what happens on track introduction or even earlier. So after this, we get the very well-known picture of all the cars there. Everybody standing there with the umbrellas and all the journalists and special guests they have on the track and everything. You have the grid walk being done and so on. That's
There's actually a
normal
lot
part
of
of the
water on the
starting
track at the
procedure.
moment. Sorry to cut you off because it looks like at the moment we're looking at, I think it's Mr. Max Verstappen as he makes his way around Singapore. And I think he's going through the final sectors at the moment of 16 and 17. Yes, it is. And that is wet, my friend. That is very, very wet. It's not puddles like Spa. He's going to make his way around 20, 21,
It's not really
22.
standing water.
But it's we're looking at slow speed, of course, obviously on just a little bit outlap to go to the grid, but there's a lot of spray, and that is questionable. And I can understand the frustration that we're all creeping through at the moment. Why aren't we going racing?
Yeah, I mean, I saw them all
Yeah.
drive around. I haven't seen a cut to anyone being in the walls, so it's safe to drive. Let them race, like, now.
Yeah, but there's some
Yeah, no,
puddles as they go underneath the
yeah,
stadium,
it's
right?
not
Turn
safe.
19, 18, 19, there's some water there. But then you go around turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, or even like turn 20, 21, whatever. I mean, sorry, I can't show you the track map out there, guys, and it's not showing you at the moment the data, but it's like there's some parts of this track that are bone dry and some parts of this track that are super wet. And remember, we're watching them at slow speeds, just cruising around. And you get the pedal to the metal there, and that car is like fired up at 100 miles an hour. Whilst you're in a spray, of course, of 20 other cars on track, that is where it becomes like earn your paycheck as a Formula One driver.
Yeah, I will be right back. I've just got a team radio of Max Verstappen in here. I'm gonna give that a listen. So, excuse me for
He twitched
a
it
few
out of
seconds.
20 out of 21. He twitched it out of 21 when he hit the accelerator just a tad. And that's not even that's not a full acceleration, of course, out of 21. Remember, guys,
Yeah,
21 is the final, like, before you go to 22, 23. That's a massive exit speed you need to go down to the main straight and then to turn one. That's where you
yeah. It
actually
was
get
in the
some
team
great, yeah.
radio, by the way. It was only Verstappen complaining about Haas, kind of trying to push a car in the pit lane before he went out. But yeah, eh.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, going to get complained about in the moment. Now, why they can't do 2 laps or 3 laps, can they? You can only do 1 lap. I don't
Yeah, they
understand.
can
Anyway,
do
yep,
pit
go ahead.
lane and everything. It is, I think, 20 minutes before it starts.
So
So
you're
for
saying it's a practice session now?
yeah, it sort of is. It always sort of is. It is. I'm not sure if it is 20 or 30 minutes before the planned light out.
20 minutes.
20 minutes. All right. Thank you, Felix.
So
So
I
20
didn't
minutes
realize
before the
Formula One
planned
can
light
then
out,
make it
you
a
have
practice
to
session.
stand on your spot on the grid, or else you will start from the pit lane.
All right, a
So
question out there at the moment too. Apologize once again. Sorry to cut you off, but yes, people have been asking that George Russell does have a penalty. Go ahead, please, Farrell.
uh yes, he does have a penalty. Um he took a new engine, ICU as far as I know. Um and yeah, that placed him fairly far down the grid.
Pretty much the bottom, my friend, but that is what it is when you get an injury penalty. Well, the pitches that we could probably describe to you guys out there. Thank you very much for tuning in. Delay at the moment. No racing action whatsoever is occurring here in Singapore. But the cars are actually finally out on track after a delayed rain kerfuffle. And 34 minutes also, they're saying it will be the official time to start the race. But at the moment, drivers are out there just filling the water and in massive lockup for Max into I believe that was turn to 5 or 6 maybe, but yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky, and
Yeah.
the drivers are allowed on track at the moment to kind of get a feel to report back to their team to say, are we going to be getting ready? Are we confident to start the race? And if we are confident to start the race, are we giving a full wetzel inters?
It's difficult because parts of the track, like especially the start finish straight, looks like almost ready for dries. Lots of the track is looking like perfect for inters, and you've got this far southern part of the track who is just full wet. So you gotta go with a full wet here.
Yeah, well, it wasn't so long ago we've seen Lewis Hamilton lonely on the grid for a race start. Isn't that the first time ever, I think, in Formula One history, you're going to see one car starting a race on a different alternative tire strategy? Well, at the
Yeah.
moment, Singapore could produce very much that situation. Some drivers right now will go into pit lane. Now, explain that, because drivers are on the pit. They can't go past the pit
Yeah,
itself, the main
it's
straight,
about
because that's where
400
your
people
gridding
on the
is.
starting grid at the moment, so
Yeah.
you're not
So
driving your car
if you
through
do
there.
go on the pit lane, what does that allow you to do? Just to explain to everybody.
It allows you to drive past the starting grid without hitting any people.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you go through there, does that give you another? You have to go around again for another lap. Then doesn't that
Yeah,
give you an alternative, another chance of getting more testing of the track? Then why would anybody go to their grid
yeah.
positions
Well,
immediately?
because basically you can be like, all right, we tuned the car in, it is dry, it is the exact same conditions as we had in free practice 1, 2, 3, qualifying. We're feeling comfortable with the car. We're not putting unnecessary mileage or stress on the engine. Go out the pits, 1 lap, get on the starting grid, wait for the mechanics to arrive and be ready to race. Or you get a situation like here with Singapore, where you basically had one practice session washed away by rain. You had completely dry in daylight with comparably a lot of heat. You had one session in the dark, dry. You had a qualifying who was basically every condition you can imagine, but none of them for real, kind of. And then you are really using this just to get track time in. See, all right, I'm out on an Inter. How is the grip? I mean, if you're Leclerc right now, you want to start on a full wet tire because if you're getting out, you're the first car to plow through all of that standing water in the southern part of the track. If you are a Verstappen or if you are a Russell who is further back on the grid, it might be interesting to start on an intermediate tire because all the cars in front of you will displace water. So you're not having as much standing water as Leclerc has to plow through. So the further back you go on the grid, the more likely it is you start on an intermediate, especially because you can drive that intermediate down until the grooves disappear.
And here's a question, right? Because we're now going. The race is going to start in about 30 minutes. Now that's a bit of time, right? There's no rain coming on the track. Maybe a few sprinkles. There was definitely water on the track. Now, can the drivers change any tire they want currently at the moment in those grid positions? Do they have that flexibility? Did they change their
Uh,
mind like 30 seconds before the race is going to be called to start? Can you go,
no,
I'll go dries?
it is 20 minutes before the start. You have to be in your grid spot.
Oh, they're
You
at 29
can.
then at the moment. So go ahead.
All right. So is it 30 minutes to the race? You have to be in your position on the grid.
Yeah,
20
they are
minutes.
now. But I mean, what is
Yeah,
the
they're
last
all in
possible
on their
moment
grid
they can call the
positions. So
tires? Is that a
all
question?
right. Yeah, 30 minutes before the race, pit lane gets closed. Yeah, Felix talked me into mistakes here.
Sorry
So
about
30
that.
minutes before the race, pit lane is closed. Your car is not allowed to go through the grid through the pit lane anymore. And now your mechanics are allowed to work on the car for another 20 minutes. So until 10 minutes before formation laps, mechanics are allowed to work on the car. If you
You say
touch the
work on the
wall,
car. What would that work be? Because it's parc fermé. So what can they
it
change?
is changing a tire. You can,
Right.
I don't know, get we see all of this duct tape basically, not duct tape, like the invisible tape thing that Tesa film
Okay. Yeah.
that they use to basically seal off gaps between panels, say for aerodynamics. You can repair. I don't know. We've seen that with Perez this season or last season,
But not
where he
repair. What could you add any advantage knowing, hey, it's going to be a wet race,
well,
so
it's
can I
parc
change
fermé.
something?
You can't change your
Yeah,
aerodynamics.
but
You
if
can't
you said
change your
about
car
duct
setup.
tape, could you slap a little bit of duct tape over here and there and maybe get an
Yeah,
advantage in wet weather racing?
sure, why not? Thing
Mm.
is, we have seen that with Sergio Perez. Someone in chat will know. I know you know because you're the most amazing chat out there. You know everything.
Oh, they're rocket science
Yes,
out there, mate. Yeah.
they rebuilt half of Perez's car once last season. Mark Beiser, he got it. It was last season where he dropped out in the lap to the grid. He locked up or something, broke his front suspension arms. The mechanics are allowed to do those repair works.
On a red
So
flag condition, but this is a race start condition. That's another thing anyway.
yeah, we got another one saying
Yeah.
it was Max in Hungary. That sounds about right.
That was a
Max
red flag
Hungary last
condition. So
season.
yeah, we're stretching the rules on that one.
Yeah,
But yeah, it
Max
is what it is.
Hungary last season.
Yeah, side pod. I
So yeah,
remember that one.
you're basically allowed to do whatever you want on the car as long as you do not break park fermé. So maybe I don't know. Maybe you got a new sponsor. So yeah, slap a new sponsor logo on that car. You're allowed to do that.
Racing Statistics has sponsored you perhaps during a race delayed start, of course. And thank you very
Yeah.
much for everybody that's tuned in to watching this one. There was a question because I'm scrolling back in a minute. I did miss that one, but I spotted somebody from Singapore there. So shout out if you are from Singapore. 'Cause I remember somebody said it's not raining here in Singapore. Which, if you're in Singapore, of course, please tell us.
Yeah.
'Cause,
I've
yeah,
had conversation yesterday with someone on our Discord server. By the way, we have a Discord server. Link is in the description below. I had a discussion with someone being from Singapore. Had some basically insight from there, like he or she, guess he is living fairly close to the circuit and gave us some live weather updates on the Discord server.
CJ's from Singapore, Bangladesh, of course, South Texas. And I'm seeing Malaysia there. You're well aware of those weather conditions in Malaysia, of course. And I actually miss the Malaysia track. Zimbabwe, Belgian GP. Yeah, I mean, Uruguay in England. Another one's Singapore. So how many here in Singapore? And you guys out there, it's a city state. So I guarantee you're probably not too far from the track. And I appreciate if you are tuning and listening to us rather than actually listen to the casters track side, because I guarantee you will do a better job.
Yeah, I've read
But,
I've read
yeah.
a few times throughout the chat that we are doing a better job than
Yeah, I
John
mean,
Palmer and
not
those.
granted a better job than Crofty and all that, but yeah. But
Absolutely not a
track
better
side,
job. I'd say
yes.
we do a
Yeah.
different job.
Yeah, we do. And you tune
Preference
into us.
thing.
Hey, you can have both up if you want at the end of the day, but hey, if you type at the moment a message right now, there's probably a good chance that we'll answer you that. And type a message to Crofty and see if we can answer. And I'm not thinking against Crofty, but come on, really? We are 2022. Then again, I would not want to be Crofty, mate, with like 10,000 people chatting to him at once. But then again, Singapore, everybody in Singapore at the moment, Marina Bay, beautiful country. Let us know. What's the conditions right now?
It is questionable. I don't see any umbrellas up, so I guess there is no race. We do have some live footage of Binotto at the moment. His hair is looking rather calm, so it is not
You
all
were
too
excited
windy
about
out
that
there.
one. It is true. He's talking to
I'm
Gunter, isn't
waiting
he?
for this. Whenever I see Binotto, I gotta
Oh,
look at his hair as my personal wind indicator. You know,
it's
he's
true.
not
Yeah.
doing all too good of a job with managing Ferrari at the moment,
He's talking to
which is
Gunter at the
kind of
moment.
sad to see because I want to keep him. I
Yeah.
need his hair as my weather flag, basically.
What about Sebastian Vettel? He's growing his hair quite long at the moment too for the last time in Formula One for him. Are you not
Yeah, just
judging Sebastian Vettel's like racing performance around a track by his hair?
yeah. I don't know. Usually he wears a helmet and goes along a track at about 300, 200, 300 kilometers an hour. So I don't think his hair will be a very good indicator. As we see Kevin Magnussen, who has quite a head of hair as well, but he is
Yeah,
always having a
Kevy.
lot of
Kevy's
but
been
he is
doing it pretty
always
good.
having a lot of product in there. So
Mm.
that hair is not going to move at all. You know, like these three
Why is
weather
Will putting
thing.
a bit of paint at the moment on the cameras? Going, Will's just like, I think Will's just trying to do a dance move right now. Going, yeah, Will, we love you. Drive to survive. Actually,
It
no,
is
Will is doing
basically
a
that.
dance move right now. I'm sorry, that's what Will's doing.
Yeah,
But
Will Buxton's having his private rave on the starting grid right
yeah,
now.
but Felix,
Yeah, no, he
as
was
a
talking
driver,
about
mate.
how
Yeah.
he was talking about how this yellow stripe at the left and right on the start finishing straight are very, very, very gripey compared to the track. So
Is that what you thought? I thought Will was just trying to do a dance move, but I guess is what he's thinking about Formula One. And if you
yeah,
actually,
no,
guys, if you look at Will, he gets really excited with his microphone. I love Will, but he just moves that microphone around like tooth and nail. But over to you, Felix, mate. Now, as a race start, okay, when you're in the grid positions and you have a team around you and you got to do a standing start, what's going through your mind? And do you have any preparation?
No, I see it in the car, so just looking at the track front of me, and then it comes the green flag, and just focus on, and when the green lights are on, just full send.
Do you do practice like starts? Because obviously, how many times have we seen drivers in the past, right? Like you go slides out, and away we go, Crofty style, and then all of a sudden your clutch slips and your rear end bogs down, and you're all of a sudden seeing 5 cars past you. What happens? Like, what do you do in your race launch?
Um, just launch control, first gear, and yeah,
You have
full
certain
send on
revs.
the.
Is there any kind of you obviously do preparation for it, but like how difficult is it? Because it's like in 1 second you could be from first to last.
Yeah, you must train it. There are many opportunities to train reaction, and yeah, you must look that
Do you
you.
train for reaction? Do you the exercises we see in Formula One where you see like uh drivers like passing, trying to juggle or doing exercises where they're trying to hit balls in milliseconds, like you're going down to a local arcade and trying to get the jackpot. They do that because it's reaction time. Do you do those
Yes,
sort of exercises yourself as a driver?
yes, I do similar like the F1 drivers. Also with sporting, uh, just the same. Like these
And
drivers
and,
here.
and how? Oh, your heart rate's obviously through the roof. Like, how do you practice for that? Like, do you practice on simulators before you're in the real
Um,
right? Because you can't just like go, okay, everybody, let's go. 20 of us will go on a race start and we'll do it like 10 times over. You have to
no,
practice somehow. Somebody go ahead.
not really on the simulator. I can just physically train and yeah, just physically with sport and
And how good
yeah,
then are you as a race start driver? Because there are drivers that in any motorsports that somehow can't kind of nail the race start. What would if you want to give yourself an Uber rating? What would you give yourself out of 5?
Can you repeat the question, please?
If you were to give yourself an Uber rating, right, on your race starts,
Yeah.
you were to grade yourself out of 5. What would you grade yourself?
I think at the restart I'm 4 from 5.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, I have last week race, so I start sadly from the last row, and in the first corner I come on fourth position. So yeah, starts is okay.
All right. So there's a little bit of spam in the chat that might be going breaking news. The race has been cancelled. Absolutely not. It has not been cancelled. Breaking news. Why is the race delayed? Rain has delayed the race. But the rain is not coming down at the moment. The track is pretty dry. The cars are lined up in the grid positions from their qualifying performance that we had yesterday. And at the moment, the FIA is just making sure that they are taking care of the safety of the drivers. As Will Buxton is running around at the moment, just talking to, and I'll tell you what, and this is not a Miami pit lane walk like you would expect, isn't it? There's no like celebrities and 10 bodyguards and all that sort of stuff around. Singapore's a pretty clean pit lane reporting. Obviously, would love to see Feral here with me. I'd love to see you, my friend Felix, there on the camera. And of
Yeah,
course,
no,
we'd love to
I
see
would just
Rain. Right,
run down and
Rain would be
basically
down here
try
in a
to.
minute. Like Rain would be here doing a pit walk. But yeah, we give him a vacation for this race.
Yeah, no, I would like they would not let me do a grid walk because I would just go down basically with my ruler measuring everything about the cars.
Yeah, of course. You're the one where you
Unfortunately,
stand behind the
you
car
know,
and
my
all the engineers like, stand behind it. I see
yeah,
that.
and I was just
Like,
like,
yeah.
unfortunately, dropping my phone camera underneath the car with the lights on, so I get some picture of that
The other, yeah,
underscore.
I've seen it before. Obviously, with the classic of Martin Brundle, like pointing, going, if you just look at the back of the car here right now, and all of a sudden the engineers just block the camera. Of course, but let's
Yeah,
for a second.
basically.
Let's talk about Mercedes. I mean, sorry, McLaren. So Norris, great. Daniel Ricciardo, not so great. What's going on there?
The same that has been going on throughout all of the season. It's just Ricciardo not really getting a grip of the car, not really getting a grip of extracting lap time from this machinery, how Norris is doing. Therefore, it is Ricciardo being far behind Norris. That's about it.
I mean,
Like,
yeah, but how do you feel? Also, as a driver, of course, because remember, guys, we're Felix here. We just delay a little bit because we're delaying the race start. They're on, just to give you pictures, they're on the starting grid right now, usually with all their engineers and the team and everything getting ready to get started. But to go back to that one, as a driver yourself, Felix, let's say, for example, you haven't been performing well in the team for like a year or so. And then all of a sudden the team says, look, we're not going to renew your contract. What would you do? Did you try to get another team? To look for another sport?
So I don't know. It's very tricky. So also here is from driver to driver, others how they like the car. Now McLaren is from the direction to Norris. They analysis the Norris and work for Norris and have they on the have him on the front round first driver, and with Norris set up, Ricciardo can't drive.
Yeah.
very good.
Oh, okay.
So
We do have the national anthem of Singapore at the moment. Unfortunately, we cannot provide you the audio sounds of that one, but we should obviously respect the Singapore justice, equality,
Yeah,
equal.
absolutely.
And
I think
I'm not Jimmy
Singapore.
Broadband, by the way, guys. Sorry, that's the other fantastic Jimmy's Jimmy. Okay, like I'm just a caster. Let Jimmy do his does. But I'll tell you what, in just a little bit after I talk disgracefully over the Singapore national anthem that you can't hear, we're going to
And
get
I
ready
think I
to
think it's a
race in
beautiful
Singapore.
anthem, to be honest, right
I
there.
love it. If we could play it, obviously on the stream, we would do it. But
Yeah, now the
yeah,
thing is, what I really dislike is that every single track is just there, like, oh yeah, look, this is our national band, military band, well, whatever. And it's just like, yeah, they're playing the anthem so very professional and proper and everything. And it's just like, yeah, I've heard it. I know this anthem. Like I know the like meanwhile I know the Italian and the Netherlands national anthem better
hmm
than I know the Swiss anthem just because I've heard them so
yeah. I was going to
much
ask you
all
that
the
one right
time.
now, my friend.
What I would
Yeah,
enjoy
Feral. Yep,
much,
go ahead.
much more would be like, just all right, look, this is a local band, artist, whatever. This is their take on the national anthem. This is their take on this traditional Malaysian
Well,
or
obviously you have not
Singaporean
been to
thing.
Austria, mate. They have a live
Yeah,
band.
Austria did that in
Yes.
2021, and I
And
really
that's a
respect
question
that.
for
It's
you
just
guys
like,
out there in the chat.
there
When
you
was
go,
the last
Syrian
time you
anthem.
heard? Sorry, when's the last time you heard a Switzerland national anthem on a grid of Formula One? There you go.
That might have been quite some time, but in the meantime, while we all think about that one, we have gotten a question into Felix on which track he has raced the most with
Yeah.
or which tracks he raced has the most technical corners.
so I
Felix.
think the most technical track was Maggiora, in
Where?
Italy.
Could you repeat that?
Maggiora,
Maggiora. Okay.
yes.
Maggiore in Italia.
Yes. So the track is very small, no place for fails from my side. So yeah, but it's very risky to drive there, but it's a lot of fun to drive there.
It's going to be fun. And
What?
this could be a game changer, of course. The 3 bells are up at the fruit machine. 3 sectors will be the fastest. The fastest, of course, definitely be Charles Leclerc. The circuit evolves so much more, and especially as it grips and the cars get even faster and it turns into a driver circuit and that can carry the speed up close to the wall. No mistakes could be made. You can deliver the ultimate laps. It's going to be interesting. 5 kilometers in the Marina Bay circuit, and it's not the only street race in the Formula One season, but it was the inaugural night race, and it was planned to accommodate a time zone difference between Western countries and Singapore, and it has certainly done that one. Fitted with 1,600 lighting projectors, each consisting of a projector with internal reflectors that project the light beams at different angles to prevent them from blinding the drivers. As a result, this track is 4 times more brightly lit in a stadium. And I guarantee you right now, it's 4 times more exciting than half the Formula One tracks because Max Verstappen, if he gets the job done, gets a race win, maybe a fastest lap, Where's Charles Leclerc? That'll be the question. Can Maxi wrap it up? Can Red Bull get it done? We'll definitely find out in a little bit of time, won't we? I am the Biggles, and obviously joining me again is Feral, and obviously once again for the first time will be joining me, the racer of races, Felix.
I wouldn't call him the racer of racers. I mean, he is, what are you now, like 16, 17?
Yes.
16?
16.
16. So there's still a long way to go to call him the GOAT.
Yes.
But I think
No
we could be
Goatifi,
getting
right?
there.
No
I think we could be
Goatifi.
getting there.
That's done and dusted on that one. At the moment, guys, drivers are on the grid. They're lined up.
We're about 10 minutes
And
from
instead
the
of
start.
looking at a couple of people on a TV cast on F1, you're going to listen to us. We can respond to you. We love you. And if you give us a bit of a thumbs up out there in the chat, if you give us a subscribe, then maybe I'll put a little bit more than coal in your Christmas stocking. Maybe what I'll do is give it a tear-off strip. Sorry. Maybe a bit of carbon fiber and a plate. And if you really are nice, Feral might give you some of those engineering parts that he puts together in a Formula 1 engine. Right? Like, give him some part.
I'm not working on Formula 1 engines. That's way above my pay grade.
All right, what are you doing here? Get out of the casting box. Get out of here. You're kidding.
I'm commentating on Formula 1 engines.
There's 20,000 of those parts, mate. Just pick one. We appreciate you guys out there in chat.
One car I would be working on, or what do you mean?
Guys, predictions right now. Okay, you're running down to the crunch time. As soon as the fantastic channel of Racing Statistics puts, that's such a hard word to say. As soon as Racing Statistics puts that poll up there, you're going to have to pick who will win Singapore. That's it. All right, no refunds. It's all good. Trust me. Whatever you bet, you don't have to pay for it. It's not going to cost you a single dime, but your pride is the only thing that's going to cost. Can the Ferraris do it? Can the Red Bulls get it done? Or perhaps could we see a little bit of action there from, hammer time? Well, we'll find out, won't we? Very soon.
Yeah, I think I'm just too wrapped in all the data. I mean, I don't want Verstappen to win this. I don't want him to wrap it up already. For championship's sake, I'm kind of hoping for a DNF. I don't wish him one. Personally,
yeah, you do. Stop.
Yeah, no. Look, personally,
you are. You've been saying this for like a practice sessions. You're like, I
want the championship to go on. I don't want it wrapped up. I want it to go straight there to Abu Dhabi. I want the decision to be made in the last race.
Brazil, maybe. How about that one?
Yeah, maybe that.
Can we go Isaac Lockhorner? That would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, kind of. I like him as a driver and everything. I think he has deserved to win the championship. He's been working great with the team. He's been putting down absolutely stunning performance.
How about we ask your celebrity guest, Felix, there? Felix, what do you feel about what's going to happen tonight? Give me your picks, mate. You're a race driver. You know more than anybody else.
So
don't be shy.
Predictions for the race.
Yeah, who's going to win? Top 3, go.
So I hope Leclerc wins, but
you predict Leclerc for a win. It's fine.
He's with Ferrari, so
yeah.
Okay, so
you're
P2, P3,
but
P2 will get Alonso.
Alonso P2. All right. Okay. All right. And then P3.
Like it.
P3 will be Checo.
All right. So guys, put that in the chat.
Leclerc,
P1,
Alonso,
Leclerc,
Paris.
Alonso.
Damn,
but that is
spicy.
like, all right. I mean, I gambling is not something I actually promote to people, but hey, damn, if you get that one correct, my friend, You are welcome back any day of the week, and you can just always come back into racing to say, "Remember what I said? Remember what I said back in Singapore?" You were correct on that one. We'll get ready for the race, of course. Absolutely, we'll get ready for the race. Damn, and like I
Yeah,
have
it's
so many
just
notes
it's
prepared.
kinda
And
kinda sad because data tells us it's gonna be another Verstappen win because, as always, Leclerc's on pole, Verstappen wins. That's just how this season goes.
one thing to catch, another thing to overtake in Singapore, mate. There's a little bit of a difference there.
Yeah,
Hot,
yeah, yeah.
humid,
It
and
also
forward-thinking
was
Singapore.
in Spa or in Monaco or in every other race where Leclerc got pole. Yet 100% of the times Max came in and snatched that win. So yeah, data tells us it's gonna be another Verstappen win, and I don't want this to happen. I'd rather have, I don't know, a Haas on the podium or something like, just really throw it all
Well,
overboard,
throw 100% chance of a safety car around Singapore, because that generally is a gimme. All right. Max Verstappen, the title decider, must win Singapore in his chance for the championship if he secures a fastest lap and Charles Leclerc is ninth or lower. Charles Leclerc, of course, is not ninth or lower. He'll be on the
Yeah.
grid there in P1. The
I
circuit
also
evolves
just
so
saw
much, we
another
all
very
know.
bold podium prediction right there in the chat between Alonso, Checo, and Norris. That would be something I'd love to see.
Well, this circuit has more. It used to have more corners than any other circuit on the Formula One calendar, of course, and then welcome to Jeddah. But it has 14 left-handers and 9 right-handers, and the fact there are fairly tight corners help contribute to Singapore having one of the longest average lap times on the calendar, comparable only to Spa, which is about 2 kilometers greater in length. A relatively slow nature of the circuit and a propensity for safety cars means that the longer that average to complete a 305-kilometer minimum race distance. As a result, Singapore and almost at the longest race of the season. None of the previous races in Singapore have been completed in under 2 hours. We've already had a delayed race start. So, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, thank you very much. Feral and the Felix guys, 2 hours? Do you think it's going to get done?
1 hour and 55 minutes until the race ends, because that's the time window the race has. That's the maximum length we can expect is 1 hour 55 minutes.
And did you weld those manholes down? Because they do.
Of course, yeah. They what was it? I think it was Leclerc going over a manhole cover in Baku.
High speeds of a
last
Formula One car,
season,
mate.
Where
Manhole
yeah,
covers will
where
fly up at you. Yeah.
yeah, it was last year, I think, where Leclerc went over one and it actually wrecked his floor in Baku in free practice.
Ooh, we all know what's going to happen, of course, in
Yeah,
the
since then, I am
GP race.
fairly aware
So
that they
we
are
have
getting
all the
welded
tight
down.
compounds. We have the intermediates, we have the wets, we had the dries, we have the mediums, we have the hards. But we have not seen them this evening yet. But in the race conditions, what will the teams select? That will be the key. We don't know. We know for a fact that George Russell, unfortunately, will have to start from the pit lane. We know Alex Albon recovering from his amazing surgery there, 18th on the grid there. Along Ocon. Daniel Ricciardo will be very badly performed on that one next to Valtteri Bottas. Sebastian Vettel, for the very last time, qualifying in and racing in Singapore. The mastermind of Singapore, of course, Lance Stroll, his teammate, will actually go a little bit up the road there from him. Mick Schumacher there, Kevin Mag has done a fantastic performance there to get the Haas into top 10. Max Verstappen down to 8, not a great qualifying performance. Pierre Gasly that says, well, Max, if you don't get it done, I might take your seat. Lando Norris, representing McLaren, of course. Fernando Alonso saying, well, last time I'm going to be racing for the Alpine team. Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton could be very much one to look out for this one. Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc may not be the very much person when it comes to Singapore. Guys, are you excited? I'm excited.
Absolutely. We're about 2 minutes from the start. We are going to see a formation lap soon. And then it goes on to my 5 favorite red lights that have there ever been with cars. Every other red light suck. Thing is, like, really, what is just something I like to throw out there is that actually Kevin Magnussen is holding the record for the fastest lap ever driven on this track. And yeah, Russell from the pit lane after switching out the engine in his Mercedes. So I think what it is really to be on the lookout for here is what tires do the front runners start with? What will the midfield then choose to follow that? And especially, what does Max Verstappen do? I mean, with the engine he is having in there since Spa, that one has been turned up to 11. So thinking about that and how much performance they have been extracting from that engine,
That's a great
it
question
might
to Felix at
very
the moment, isn't
well.
it? Felix at the moment in the chat there as a race driver. Mate, what do you think about that question that Carol just asked?
Which,
What question?
which question? Yes.
How many engines? How many cars? How many safety cars? How many whatever it is at the moment?
So I guess one red flag, one safety car, and
One red flag?
yes, one red flag, one safety
Alright.
car, and 2 DNFs.
Oh, all right. Now, to give you pictures at the moment, they're on a formation lap. There is some spray, right, Farrell? You're seeing the pictures, and you're seeing the pictures at the moment, Felix. That spray is not too bad, right? We saw the spray turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. It's not too bad. And it looks like the drivers have all gambled on the inters. I don't see
Spray
anybody
in
gambling on the
turn 10
dries.
throughout turn 14. That's where it's gonna get interesting.
Yeah, so we
But
haven't seen
yeah,
pictures of that happening
as
yet.
I was saying, with all this engine performance they have been extracting from Max's engine since Spa, I think it might even be that we see a Max Verstappen engine failure.
Ooh, that's early to predict. I mean, there's only 80,000 parts, components of that car that can go wrong. Are you saying that 79,990 had to go wrong?
You know, the thing is,
You're
the
so
more
mean to
performance you
Maxie.
extract from an engine, the more stress you put on the parts, and the more stress is on the parts, the faster they will give out. So with all the performance we've been seeing from Max Verstappen's Red Bull, like that hasn't been funny anymore. Like he goes from what back of the grid into the lead within a few laps, basically in Spa. With that extreme performance, you can extract that from every Formula One engine, but teams don't do it because they only have 3 engine available. So with this and all of this performance, the engine, I personally predict the engine will not last until the end of the season.
You are
And
so
with the
mean to those
amount of
engines.
performance, yeah, with the amount of performance they're extracting, I think we will see this engine fail either here or in Suzuka if they do not change drastic things.
Well, you will have one thing at the racing statistics. You'll have Farrell, the engineer, and of course himself. So, if anybody's going to tell you an engine is going to fail, I would probably listen to this guy. But one thing you need to be listening to is those cars are going to be lining up their way into Singapore GP for what will be the first time this evening. We've been delayed, haven't we? I mean, it feels like we've been around the Singapore Flyer. That's that Ferris wheel in the background there. Multiple times waiting for this race. But multiple times you have supported us, and you're going to be here for the very first start of this race in Singapore. We're going to have a ton of laps. I'm not sure if we're going to get the full lap distance of 61 on change, but time is on your side or not on your side. For one thing, Charles Leclerc lining up in P1 right next to the Red Bull, and then the hammer time is in P3. Then there's Carlos Sainz and Alonso, of course, an outsider. Could get this very much done. Well, we've waited this time. We're excited. We absolutely are. George Russell is not that excited, of course, starting in the pit lane, but it is what it is. Charles Leclerc has to get this done into turn 1, 2, and 3. Can he hold the Red Bull, the charging Red Bull? The lights are flashing, of course, because they're under the rain conditions. They're all starting on inters. Nobody has gambled on dry tires, guys. And that's going to be the key. Nerves are there through the roof. This could be a championship. Remember that Maxi can take it here today.
For my favorite 5
Let's
red
go
lights.
racing in Singapore.
You're the one talking. You're the one taking
Go
this.
ahead. Go ahead. That's a poor start at the moment. Actually, a great start there into turn 1. So there is absolutely Red Bull delivered that one. Immediately, Perez says bye-bye Ferrari. And then also looks like Hamilton is picking pieces of the Ferrari away. Spray everywhere. Looks good. All the cars.
Hamilton gone wide there a little
Perez
bit.
is way up the road there. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, Hamilton already fallen back behind both the Ferraris, while Perez had the absolute dream of a start, getting past Leclerc. Now, that's amazing start from Perez right there. The back of the field, not all too much happened. Albon got away quite fairly well. Joe had a treacherous start, though. He's now driving at the very back of the grid, even overtaken by Russell.
And opportunities everywhere here.
And
It looks like
Ocon
Dan
just
Ricciardo's got a
ran
couple
out.
positions. Go ahead.
Ocon just spun in into turn 8. So we had a brief yellow there, but he is back on the road.
Yeah,
So
Verstappen's in big trouble back there at the moment. They're battling it out at the moment with Kevin. And the cameras are on that moment. It's Haas. It's on the outside there. There's Red Bull. And, of course, the old Red Bull driver of Daniel Ricciardo. He got passed by Max Verstappen, but Daniel Ricciardo says, remember me, over the innocent bridge. They've been in a Red Bull before. And Dan Rick does not want to get Max past, but Max says, mate, how many championships do you have in Formula 1? 0. Max gets ahead of Ricciardo.
But that Ricciardo battle there, that has only been damage control. Verstappen down into 12th. He lost 4 positions in that start. So now he really got to show how much he can still extract from this engine.
Got to extract everything you can at the moment. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize if I'm a little bit annoying out there in chat. It's just because I cast racing all the time. You love it or leave it, but I'm excited because I love it. Perez is leading this race by both of the Ferraris there. So Charles Leclerc in P2, Carlos Sainz in P3, and Hamilton losing 1 place, but comfortably in P4. But hey, Lando Norris, man, not too bad at the moment. They're sitting a little bit down the road there for the McLaren in P4.
Yeah, but right now you can see as they are all going through turn 3 on the camera. Magnussen just came in, a radio message of Verstappen. Magnussen does have an end plate loose right there. Yeah, we can see that. As Verstappen got past him. I hope that was without contact. I wouldn't have seen anything as well. Anyways, thing is, into turn 3, there was a little bit of a wet patch, so we could see.
A run for the Red Bull, and sorry, cut you off that one.
Verstappen back into 10th. I mean,
you know what, guys? If you're not enjoying our casting right now, you know what? You can just beat me because I'm excited right now. If you want your regular caster, go ahead. It's not a podcast. I'm casting this like I'm David Croft, and I'm casting this like it's race round 2. Obviously, I'm lap 2 here as we get a race.
Yeah,
start
so let's see.
replay.
We get the race start replay. Actually, Leclerc got away a little bit faster than Perez, but Perez could find way more grip throughout gears 2 and 3 and just failed it. And he was just away, while it looks like Hamilton just had a little bit of a wheel spin there to get immediately overtaken by Sainz, who will now have to cover the behind of his teammate Leclerc, who's just ahead of him by about a little bit more than 1 second at the moment. We do not see any DRS yet because it's just way too wet. Also, yeah, Hamilton, of course, complaining about Sainz there, as there was a little bit contact that forced him off the track, but I would say that is a completely normal racing incident. Currently, we have the fastest lap also by Leclerc, who is starting his chase of Perez. He went all purple through all of the sectors, and there we go. Verstappen just lost out a lot of places as he has been forced off the track himself, and in on the wet paint throughout this turn 2 chicane, he could just not put it really down on the floor. Let's see how Sergio Perez did on his start. Yeah, he really got away slower than Leclerc. You could see him always almost making up half a car length throughout gear 1, but then as they were shifting up through gears 2, 3, and 4, Perez just well, left nothing but dust and some water specks in the air to eat for Leclerc there. While we now have the leading duo of Perez and Leclerc being within 1 second of one another, then followed by Sainz with 4.5 seconds to spare from Perez. So that is actually looking like those two in the lead there will just kind of run away with it, while Verstappen is still stuck down in P10, currently trying to fight it out with Tsunoda and Vettel, who are quite close battling with each other there. Maybe he can profit from that. Maybe he can get through. I sure do hope so, as I want to see him extract everything from that engine until it fails in lap 45. That's my call. Biggles, what do you think? Apparently, he has some internet issues. Looks like his dingo got loose from the cage once again and chewed down on his internet connection. So let me just get up the servers there to see when he will be back. So far, you are unfortunately stuck with me and Felix right here. So Felix, what do you think about this whole Verstappen engine failure take I did?
I don't know. Red Bull makes a perfect job, so I think he finished the race without issues, without any engine failure, and yeah,
All right,
see.
so you think you think I'm stupid or what?
Yes.
Yeah, and, yeah, we also see there Magnussen on the start running very wide, losing out on some places there, having a slight little bit of contact with Verstappen, and that is where his end plate broke. Where Magnussen was just staying in there, refused to give any room, refused to give anything up to Verstappen there, led to a little bit of contact. And yeah, there we see again Albon spun. It also looks like there was a little bit of an impact onto the rear of that car. I would really like to see more footage of that Williams of Albon right now, as the replay of his spin showed that he had a slight impact there. I hope there is no damage to his car, while it does look bad as he is currently at the very back of the field. So, wait, we got a message there. All right. Looks like Biggles will not be back. Looks like the dingo didn't only loosen the cable, but really chewed it through this time. That is very unfortunate. So you are actually stuck with me and Felix until the end of this Grand Prix. As we see Sergio Perez there going through that last little bit of a sector from the race. Looking great with them just going under the highway where we of course still have the usual traffic. Really great. So yeah, Verstappen meanwhile passed Tsunoda, picked him off, got into the 9th place. Now Vettel up the road, next one to take, get that grid order back in place. Perez being able to extract some time from Leclerc, now 1.3 seconds ahead. And yeah, so far, looks like we got a proper start and no early safety car in sight. So yeah, it is Max fighting through the field, really takes him takes him some time there. And the problem is that the leading pack is so much faster than the rest of the field that Verstappen really has a lot of catching up to do there. As we see them going around track, it is on most of the track there is no spray and nothing. So it looks like most of the track would actually be dry enough for some slick tires or to give slick tires a go very soon. But throughout, especially the corners, we see way more of well, just wet surface. So, Felix, I know you drive your autocross usually more like in the mud, but is that something you're kind of used to, that there is just way more water throughout the corners than there is on the straights?
No, not really. It's on the whole track the same. And yeah, we also have different tires that generate more grip. Same like here, but here is very important to find the gap who that we change the tires on softs, and it's very risky to do this.
Yeah, all right. So we do know Paris is fairly well handling that gap to Leclerc. I mean, Leclerc is going fairly fast right now, while Hamilton is trying to get a piece of that cake as well with a purple sector one there, trying to chase back up onto Sainz, where he wow, still does have about 2.5 seconds of a gap lost since the start, while Carlos Sainz himself is also 6 seconds off of Leclerc. So that's a lot of catching up to do right there. Verstappen really stuck behind Vettel there, who is driving an amazing defense line there, just keeping Verstappen behind and behind, corner after corner after corner. It's not like Verstappen wouldn't try to get through there, but yeah, Hamilton is just getting his car very wide, covering off all the angles for him. So I guess it is time for Verstappen to back off, maybe try to conserve the tires, try to maybe just tuck it in behind Vettel and not being too aggressive. I mean, Vettel has a lot of experience in those cars. He's not getting nervous just because there is a number one car behind him, kind of, closing in, bumper riding. I don't think he's bothered by that. So, Felix, what do you think? Should Verstappen rather back off maybe to about half a second and really wait for a mistake? Because I don't think he's gonna force Vettel
Um,
into a mistake there.
no, I think Verstappen have no time to wait. He want to win. That's what every race driver wants. Uh, yeah, I think Verstappen do everything to pass Vettel, but Vettel does everything to defend Verstappen. So, um, very interesting what there goes on. So we will see.
Yeah, and we have just seen the black and orange so-called meatball flag for K-Mag being waved for probably that loose end plate on his front wing. So yeah, for him now getting into the pits, that's gonna pretty much drop him down into P20 for sure. So yeah, he surely hopes for some safety car or whatever wonder or chaos that can happen where he can profit from. And we got a yellow flag in sector 1 as Latifi is going very slow and Guan Yu Zhou standing still. I hope we will see some pictures of that very soon. Yes, it is Guan Yu Zhou just standing still. That's been it. He is into the runoff.
And Latifi has a flat tire. He must
Yeah,
also box.
puncture for Latifi on the rear rear left of that car. So looks like there has been some contact between the two of those. Now this is of course good for Kevin Magnussen right there. I have just seen the car of Guan Yu Zhou standing there. I have no idea how he's positioned, but this might very well be the first safety car of the race.
Yes. And we will see what Williams make, because I see on the TV's car the left, right tires are
The
little.
left, right tires?
Uh,
You mean the the front left,
no, the rear left. Sorry.
the rear left?
Sorry. The rear left tires, there is the flap tires,
Yeah,
and
all right.
the
We see.
axle are.
Yeah, the axle might have taken some damage. Ooh, yeah. That. Oof. All right. So, Guan Yu Zhou's car. Yeah, they have taken it into the runoff there at turn 5. I'm wondering that they haven't called out a safety car or even a virtual safety car yet. So yeah, nah, that impact looks like Latifi got some gearbox damage right there. So there we go into the pits. Magnussen getting a new tire, struggling with a tire change. Looks like actually the front wing was changed quicker than his tires to a new set of intermediates, as he is getting out on the track right now, having quite a lot of catching up to do. The leading pack now coming up on Latifi throughout turn 20 and 21. There we go. There's a call. We have a full-on safety car. Now, Felix, what do you think? It looks like the corners are too wet to take any tire gambles just yet.
Yes, the track are dry up very, very slow. I think more than the half race we see inters. It's my prediction. So yeah.
So you think we will see them be on inters until like lap 30?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Another thing. I mean, we have wind of around 4.5 kilometers. Yeah, we have seen Latifi getting into the pits. That tire is looking terrible. They are still standing there with a new front wing, ready to change it, but I don't think he will finish that. Yeah, no.
So the rear suspension
Yeah,
is broken.
we see the mechanics there, holding up the crossed arms. That's been it for Latifi. Not just a flat tire, but actual damage into the drivetrain. Very, very unfortunate for Gotifi, our favorite Nutella man out there. Yeah. So,
Yeah, but 9 laps. Respect.
yeah, 9 laps. Called it about right. Almost. I have seen the safety car earlier. I thought there would be like, in the beginning where we have the squabble throughout the midfield after a start. Like I would have called it around lap 5 or 6, but 9, close enough. I'll take that. Gotifi screwed the pooch. Yeah, well, it is difficult to say if it actually was Latifi's or Guan Yu Zhou's mistake there. I mean, Latifi was there, kind of, they, I don't know. Felix, come on, you're the racing driver. I would just call this in as a racing incident.
Yeah.
Stuff that happens. It's like no bad blood. It's just it was stupid from the both of them. They could have left each other more space, but yeah, no, I wouldn't see penalty or anything through with that. What do you think?
Yes, racing incident. Both drivers push it to the limits, and yes, this is when we push over the limits. We see here, Russell goes
See,
wide.
that's not wide. That's to another postcode right there. As yeah, lap 7. That was that brief red flag, yellow flag we had there. As Russell tried a lunge up the inside of Kevin Magnussen, but just hit a little bit of a wet spot there. Wasn't able to break it down,
It
and
was Bottas.
yeah, no, gave another slap onto Bottas's front wing there. So yeah, safety car is bunching up the field. Magnussen now in the very back lost 9 positions from his grid start in 9th, where we currently have Verstappen still behind Vettel, of course. Not a lot of changes otherwise, but whoever has called a Hamilton, Norris, and Alonso podium, they're currently sharing places 4 through to 6. So if we get Perez, Leclerc, and Sainz basically out of the way somehow, we would have that very right podium call right there. So yeah, what is the current lap times we're seeing around? It's about just under 2 minutes, looks like. So with this being lap times just under 2 minutes, we do have 50 laps to go. That would be 100 minutes. That's 1 hour, 40 minutes. We do not have that time left. So I think we will not see 61 laps being driven here, but rather having it switched over to a timer that will just give us an end time at whatever lap count we have then. What do you think?
Yes, same. Standings in the stands in the FIA regulations. Yeah. So we see Ricciardo chain position. He's 12th.
Yeah,
So
Ricciardo up to 12th, made up 4 places from his grid position. Fairly nice, actually. Actually, also kind of surprising. Like, I like Ricciardo. I know he's a good driver. I mean, he back in Red Bull or with Renault, he has done great things, really great things. As the safety car is ending right now, the thing is, he's just not at home at McLaren. I think that has been a terrible career choice.
yes, but yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if we will see him back next season, unfortunately, as we are still a month after summer break. We are kind of still in the middle of all of this silly season thing. There is actually not really any way of knowing what driver is going to end up where next season.
yeah. But by the way, my predictions are right at the moment. 2 DNFs right now.
Yeah. So this needs to be a proper race, but then your other prediction is wrong with the red flag.
Yeah, but we have still many laps to go. So.
Yes, so either you were right with your 2 DNFs or you will be right with your 1 red flag, but you can't have both anymore.
Oh. Yeah. Maybe
So
it walks a dog through the track.
yeah, all right. Safety car restart actually not all too eventful. We are still very focused on that fight between Verstappen and Vettel. There, apart from that, no real changes apart from Hamilton, Norris, Alonso, Gasly, but Verstappen finally got past Vettel. So now it's going. So now it's all about chasing behind that AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly. I don't know. I think he won't have too much of a problem of overtaking Gasly, but then the big thing is happening. Then he has to get past the wall Alonso.
Yes.
That is the wall. So that's when it's going to be interesting again, being around Verstappen. But yeah, there he goes. Just launched it up the inside, past Gasly easily, almost no resistance. That's not even gonna not hugely gonna comment on that. Like that almost looked like team orders right there. It was due to Gasly just misjudging his braking point, sliding a little bit, and Max being there to profit from that error right there. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there was no big fight.
Really not. But Gasly went wide in that corner. It looks like he really just misjudged his braking point, as Gasly isn't used to fight a lot, actually. So, Gasly would be a driver. If I need to overtake him, I would be right up to that rear wheels of his, just applying pressure as much as I can, because I think Gasly is one you can easily force into an error, as we have just seen. Or would you think that was just like, yeah, nah, not even gonna bother with Verstappen behind me and rolled out the red carpet, basically?
Yes, I think there gives a call from the commando, let Max pass, and yeah. So,
Probably. I
but
mean, they just are in a different race. Like, yeah. So there we go. We get an investigation into that turn 5 incident of Latifi and Joe colliding. The incidents that brought out the safety car at lap 7. So yeah, it looks like, I don't know if they get someone in the wrong there. What do you think? Will it be Latifi or Joe?
yeah, I'm still meaning that was a race incident, so it was on the beginning from the race, and there's so many cars, so race incident for me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, okay then. I think if you had to have someone in responsibility, I think it would be Latifi, quite frankly. Of course he had business being where he was, as he was trying to overtake Guan Yu Zhou, but he had he had no deal basically to be there. I
Yeah,
think he should have backed out of that.
this driver is ever difficult to see the other in these little mirrors.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we've
maybe
seen it
he
with
doesn't
Ricciardo
see it,
backing out
and
into
yeah,
yeah, just those are tiny rear view mirrors indeed. So yeah, Verstappen chasing up after Alonso, making up more than a second a lap, or at least more than 1 second the last lap. Now basically right behind him in the window of half a second, as they are coming out of turn 7 into 8, over to 9, onto that first straight. What do you think? How long does it take Verstappen to get past the wall right there?
I think 7 laps.
7 laps. So you think Max Verstappen will be stuck behind Alonso until lap 20?
Yes, because Alonso is
Yeah, he is the wall and he's not giving a
yes,
single coin. I've been told I should curse less on streams. So yeah, no, Alonso doesn't give a single, I don't know, dolphin, flipper, whatever, um, about who is behind him. He's just the wall, He is now in P6 and he will finish in P6. That's it. No matter who's behind him, he
yes,
will defend as if it would be about a world championship, even
yeah,
in practice.
yeah. We see it in Ungarn with
Hungary?
Hungary with Lewis.
Yeah,
He defend like a lion to help Ocon, and Ocon takes the win.
yeah, absolutely. Like he is Walonzo. Alonso doesn't give a flip flop. I like that. I guess I think I will go with that. Herlock Scholz. Thank you very much. So Alonso does not give a flip flop about who's behind him. So yeah. He will become the wall. He will become the mason who puts up bricks to wow, lots of bouncing of Norris there right out of that turn 7. looks like he is driving his car set up way lower than the others behind him, as they weren't sparking that much. Or do you think he just was a little bit too enthusiastic on the curb right there? Too fast?
Yeah.
It is, yeah. I gotta excuse Felix, who is with me here, FIA autocross driver, currently P14 in the European Championship. Our special guest of today. I think his Instagram handle is also in the description in case you want to follow him. Um, English is not his first language, so depending on how fast I comment, sometimes he just doesn't quite follow. So yeah,
Yeah, sorry for that.
it's okay. I mean, it's not anything professional here. We're just a community of Formula One fans. We're here because we all enjoy racing. So yeah, yeah. Spartacus there with pretty fair point that Verstappen can easily overtake Alonso with just adjusting his pitting strategy. But I think that will really throw a wrench into the works of the Red Bull team right there, that they have to adjust their pits basically to Alonso and not to whatever the leaders are actually doing.
Yeah. Um. Now, by the way, we are 3 laps that Max is behind Alonso, and he has no chance to
Yeah.
overtake him. So Alonso made no mistakes until yet.
So yeah, we got the lap one incident of Max Verstappen there having a little bit of contact with Kevin Magnussen, so that will not need any further investigation and goes down into the books as a racing incident, just as we have seen oh so many throughout the first lap of a race.
So, but Russell is behind Bottas.
Yeah, kind of curious that Bottas isn't up there still snuggling with Hamilton as they have been throughout most of the season, actually, or at least throughout the beginning of the season. So yeah, but it looks I kind of I don't know. I expected way more of a spectacle throughout the leads, especially from a Singapore Grand Prix. But Perez is just there maintaining the gap to Leclerc, easy 1.5 seconds, lap after lap after lap. Probably just being there, charging his battery. So yeah, Verstappen still there, breathing down the neck of Alonso, who is just unfazed, basically. Alonso just looks like on a Sunday cruise out there.
Yeah.
Just relaxed, doing his corners, just left and then right and then chicane and a little bit and get a bit on the gas, and a bit don't and everything. Has a gap of 17 seconds now to Norris ahead of him. Um, no, having a gap of 17 seconds to Perez ahead of him. Still a gap of 2.5 seconds to Norris, not even trying, just out there driving his own race. It's okay, like that old lady in the Ford Fiesta on the highway ahead of you, driving like 20 below the speed limit, not a care in the world. That's Alonso right now. Just
Yeah.
being there, probably listen to his podcast, some true crime stories or whatever, while Verstappen seems kind of frustrated behind it.
Yeah, but Verstappen is very near to Alonso, and every corner exit, Verstappen get oversteer. So he
Yeah.
has too low speed to come in a position to overtake Alonso.
Yeah, probably strategy wise, Verstappen should just fall back to like 1 second so he can take the corner faster. maybe threw out the former Singapore sling, that turn 22, 23, that double left-hander onto the start-finish straight, build up speed there, and try to sail past like that. Because I don't think that this will lead anywhere without a pit stop.
Uh, so when Max goes longer like this, and every corner he has to oversteer, the tires are uh, no more good for the whole race. So
Yeah, but I've just listened to that radio message of Norris there. He is thinking of going onto slicks. So maybe that's the idea of Verstappen, to just light up those rear tires, get the rubber off them, get the grooves out, so he can basically use the intermediate as a little bit of a not so good soft tire. You know, go into, like, basically drive the intermediate down into a slick tire.
yeah, I think now it's risky, but it it's maybe to do this because we see a dry line, and on the straight, every driver goes offline to cool the tires up.
Yeah, like basically a interslick or a slick intermediate tire.
Yes.
Um, yeah, a slick intermediate. I guess we're calling it a slick intermediate from now on. You in the chat, you're around. You know what we mean.
Yeah, but Paris lead the Grand Prix and handle everything. So
Yeah, I mean, for now it is still everyone on the intermediate tire out there. But you barely see any spray anymore. So yeah, this is now the turnover throughout the next maybe 2 or 3 laps where it's going to be decided if you switch over onto a slick or not. Because I think for now it's a very risky choice. But I think as soon as the first one gets into the pits to switch over to an intermediate tire or something, we will see them pour in. But we see there at turn 18, the one just before they drive underneath the grandstands, there is still a lot of standing water. Yeah, just got a radio message of Carlos Sainz in. He also thinks that they're not far from switching over to a slick tire.
yeah, but I would when I will be Toto Wolff, I just call Russell to come in and pit for softs or something like this because he's stuck behind Bottas and
Yeah,
can't pass him.
he's been stuck behind Bottas for quite a while right now, and he's down in P16. If it continues like that, Russell isn't even looking at points in this race. I mean, Bottas is challenging to overtake, and then he still has Ricciardo in front of him, who is also quite well in defending.
Yeah, but the German guy Mick makes a good job. P13.
Yeah,
It's okay
P13 for
for
Mick
him.
Schumacher. That's almost getting me back into my Haas delusions of maybe him winning a race this season. Uh, Still, it's what my heart wants: a Mick Schumacher win this season, and a Sebastian Vettel win this season, of course, as it is unfortunately his last.
Yeah, and Verstappen is behind Alonso.
Yeah, still, it's the wall. It's Wall Lonzo. It really is. But yeah, there's not. It's kind of like the whole lead pack up until Norris. It's kind of boring. They all like around 1 second off of each other. Of course, the gap Leclerc to Sainz was almost 10 seconds. But apart from that, it's just gaps after gaps after gaps. Nobody really fighting, and the first real action we're seeing is Verstappen's battle with Alonso for P6. That's where it's getting interesting. Yeah, Yuri, fair point. DRS would spice it up. Now the battle between Alonso and Verstappen with DRS. Think that would change anything?
Yes.
I mean,
It makes Verstappen easy to overtake because yes, yeah, yes, the better car, and on the straight, Alonso can drive more than one times on a side. So
yeah.
yeah, but until DRS will activate it, we have much time. And
So yeah, but there is really just throughout that sector 3, like turn 16, 17, 18, just before they go under the grandstand, that little squiggly bit there, that is just wet. Like that is definitely still inter territory, and it's not getting any better there. So yeah, there we go, Felix. It's lap 20.
yes, and Verstappen is still behind Alonso.
Verstappen still behind Alonso. And it looks like the MGU-H on Verstappen's car has a little bit of an issue, as he is complaining about a massive lag after the upshift. So yeah, Felix, my first thought immediately, the anti-lag system, the e-turbo basically they have in there, the MGU-H, who converts heat energy into electric energy and then back into heat energy throughout a turbo spool up to minimize lag. That is my first thought after hearing that message.
No, I think it's more on the gearbox because on the upshift, maybe the hydraulic has too long to shift up in the gearbox.
Ah, yeah, that might be
So
as well. So we are having the informations pouring into us somewhere around here. I hope we will get a statement on what the issue is, because it's actually quite fun commenting stuff like that with another engineer, so you can actually go into more of a detail on what's probably going wrong. Ooh. Alonso asking for dry lines around, but no one can see that yet. It is slowly appearing. But yeah, Alonso currently the only driver radio message we have seen that is about, yeah, well, not time for slicks yet. Alonso just gonna wait it out.
yeah, but the Mercedes crew make is ready for box. So I think in the next few laps, George Russell will come in the box
Yeah, I
because
think
Hamilton make no sense that he comes. He said that he will struggle, but make no
Hamilton
sense.
always says he's struggling on tires.
Yes, and then he
Like,
drove two fastest laps.
yeah, like Hamilton's there, like, oh no, the tires, I'm struggling. Fastest lap one, another fastest lap, maybe a third fastest lap from Hamilton. So, yeah, just because he says he's struggling on the tires doesn't mean that the tires are actually struggling with him.
But now he closed a little the gap to Sainz.
Yeah, he's closing up there a little bit, so we might maybe see a little bit of a fight for like actual podium places right there.
Yes, so the basic struggle for Hamilton.
Yeah, no, but quite honestly, like I don't like yeah, we all have our preferences and don't make this a shitstorm, but I don't like Hamilton. Yet I still want him to win this race. He's a 7-time world champion. He hasn't really.
Oh, we see
Oh no. What is It's
Alonso.
Alonso out of the race.
Uh,
And there it is. Actually an engine failure that helps Verstappen. I was far off. The wall is gone.
Yes, and that will be
Looks
the
like
second safety car,
yeah.
virtual safety car.
All right, we're only down to a virtual safety car. That's unfortunate. I would have loved to see Verstappen and Alonso battling it out on the track, but now the chase is on. 7 seconds to Norris, then another 10 seconds to Hamilton.
So what's
Verstappen
going on?
currently almost 40 seconds off of his teammate in the lead.
Oh, I think the engine just threw up. So
Yeah,
the middle of the straight, he will be out.
yeah, you just hear it like stutter a bit in the beginning and then just off. Oof. Yuki Tsunoda almost putting it into the wall there himself, being overtaken by Stroll, who has banged the wall then throughout the virtual safety car. All right, Russell is in. Good call there, Felix. Russell will be put on the slicks right now.
Is it the slicks? Yes,
It
it
is
is.
slicks. He
And the
will go
medium
out on
compound.
medium compound, that nice little yellow matching the flags currently waved all over the track. So now this is something the teams will have an eye on. This is oof,
Whoa.
not coming out of the
Whoa.
pit line well. Like looking like a fish on dry land there, trying to get out of the pit lane. While pit lane is still wet. Now on the track,
Off.
and
Whoa.
Russell doing his best Tokyo Drift impressions there. Din, 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 din.
Yeah.
Looks like the track is too damp, at least throughout the beginning. Might it also just be that the track is, or the tires is cold? Yeah, just got a radio message into Verstappen from his engineer telling him that Russell has been put on the medium tire, and yeah, Verstappen basically just saying that this is a very, very bold choice. Yeah, nah, looking
Yeah.
throughout those corners, that is not slick territory yet.
Yeah, but now he has no other opportunity when he wants to get in the points.
Yeah, when he
So
wants to get into the points, he needs to stick with that now.
yes,
He needs to see it through. On the other hand, now it basically is maybe he gets into the points or he will crash the car.
yes,
If he goes back on an intermediate, it is maybe he will get into the points or he will not. But I would get him back onto an intermediate tire
no,
right now because it is Singapore, disaster is lurking around every corner. You could have safety cars, red flags, whatever. There's a lot that can be happening on that track. So I would try to keep Russell in. By the way, with Alonso, we now have 3 DNFs and no red flag yet.
uh,
Guess your call has been a little bit off there.
so we're trying to find out what's happened with Alonso.
Yeah, so what do we have? So we have a statement here. Here comes the promised drama as replays show that Alonso just lost power and was able to slowly pull to a halt down an escape road. The virtual safety car is out and Russell is the first into the pits, but what will he put on? Mediums. All right, that is a fairly pointless statement right there. But I read it out anyways. Probably I should read the statements before I read them out. But yeah, Russell still on a medium tire. Last position, currently 16 seconds behind Alex Albon. By the way, Alex Albon, have you seen the practice sessions? After
No,
practice 2, he looked like he was in a lot of pain still. Like, there were some pictures of him almost crying in that car. So, yeah. Don't think we will see all too much from him. Of course, I wish him all the best, and I hope he is gonna get healthy. But yeah, Russell, I think no, now 16 seconds behind Albon. It is not that turnover to the dry tire hasn't happened yet, but Verstappen now taking on the fastest lap of the race so far, already made up 10 seconds to his teammate right there, flying over the track.
But Russell lost in the second sector 1.6 seconds.
Yeah, first sector he's about 2 seconds slower. Second sector he's about 1.5 seconds slower. Let's see how it looks once he gets out of the really, really wet third sector of the race. I mean, no, that is very slow sector 3.
Yeah, so it's
I would like to see some footage of that right now. Now he's over the line. 3 seconds off throughout sector 3. So throughout the whole lap, he lost. Wait, was it 2 seconds, 2.5, 3.5? Yeah, almost 7 seconds lost in one lap. You gotta pit him again. Like he's just there as basically a guinea pig at the moment. There's nothing else he can do for his team right now. Or maybe they will just leave him out on the medium tires. I mean, he's not even 1 sector away from Perez and Leclerc, and if he stays out on that tire, he's gonna be the first one to be lapped within the next 5 laps or something? Or do you think the track is dry enough by then? It's not now, but
yeah. I said it once again, so the track dry up really, really slow. And I said until lap 30, it's intermediate. And yeah, we see it on Russell. They are too early for slicks.
yeah. So you say switch over to dry tires by lap 25, by lap 30. And looking at the math, it is about 5 laps until Perez will go past Russell there. And on the other hand, Russell is not driving consistently.
So, but now Russell's there. So
Yeah, throughout
he
sector
drives
2,
the same.
sector 2 he makes a good time, personal best even. But still, pretty much bang on 2 seconds slower than Perez throughout sector 2. So
Yes, but only 1 second slower than Hamilton on Inters.
yeah. And there we go. Verstappen caught up to Norris meanwhile. So we will see our next, hopefully, interesting battle right there before we will see another one of those much feared Verstappen versus Hamilton's. And we get a yellow flag in second
Albon
2.
is standing.
Alex Albon standing still, alternate straight into the wall. That's gonna be another safety car for sure.
Flag. Oh no, he can.
Oh wait, he can
drive.
back out of it, but his wing is still there.
Yeah, maybe he has luck and can pit.
Virtual safety car. His tires look not too bad, but he has lost. Yeah, the winglet is lost as well.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe he has luck and goes to the pit, but front left tires shows
It looks
like
a
it's
little
flat.
bit wobbly, but
Yeah.
I think that's just from low pressure on the tire. I think they can just change it and go for it. Russell passed Albon now. Not much of a battle there, but
Now look, he has a flat tire.
yeah,
Front left.
looks like it's just a flat tire right there. So
What was the problem?
just misjudged his braking point.
Yes.
You see how turn 8 has been taken either inside or outside, and you can see how there is a lot of standing water. throughout the middle of the track. So you either go out or in. And Albon tried to do this out in out, that typical starting far out,
Yeah.
getting an apex in there, and just crossed some wet patches, and that's been it. From there on, he was passenger.
Yeah, now we got a virtual safety car because of the front wing from Alex.
Yeah, all right. So now, shit strategy call. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't curse that much. Not really well thought through strategy call from Ferrari. You see how they were struggling in the pits, discussing, is it time for medium? Now, not. Maybe. Virtual safety car. Do we take the pit now? Do we not? If they put them on a slick tire now, that's been it for Ferrari. They're off the podium.
We will see how it works. By Russell, he does great laps with median compounds, so it's not much slower than the others, and now it dries up every lap. I think this virtual safety car is the time to go to slick.
Yeah, Albon's engine is off.
So
They did the pit stop. They changed the tire onto a medium tire. It wasn't a
Well,
bad.
now it's off. Oh,
Oh, shit.
that's the
All right,
front
he just
wing.
launched his front wing underneath the. Damn, I wouldn't want to be that Marshall trying to get that one back out of there. So,
No, it's green
yeah,
flag.
we're back to green flag racing. Albon still in the pits. Oh, god damn it, no, Ferrari, no. They're like, are they? Did they just give the call out to Leclerc to box for parts? That's it. Honestly, if I were Leclerc, I would not drive for Ferrari next year. I'd rather not drive a Formula One car next year than drive another season for Ferrari.
No, I think
So I mean, it has just been the call. Maybe it's a dummy. Maybe they try to force Red Bull onto
Or
a hard tire.
maybe it's just a chat who choke you.
Um. So yeah, no, come on.
But we see Verstappen very struggle on the exit from the corner.
Yeah. So, all right. Now Leclerc drove past the pits. So okay. Still there? Still there?
Oh, the next
And
Alpine.
there we go. Next Alpine looks like
Esteban Ocon.
looks like an engine issue as well. Or is that steam coming off the tire?
No, I think from the engine.
Ocon standing in turn 13, the next Alpine there. No,
Oh.
that looks like yeah, no, it's the brakes. You see the same smoke coming from the front as there is from the rear, just overheated brakes, but why isn't he backing out of that? Very, very slowly. Very carefully, Just as
But he don't
let's
pull
wait.
the reverse.
To the team radio complaining about a weird sound. Yeah, we can see now from the top there is a lot of oil there.
So maybe an oil leak.
Yeah,
So
oil leakage. That is fairly sure. Ocon, yeah, Ocon out. Just been confirmed right here. Another virtual safety car. Yeah,
he can be lucky that the car
yeah.
not
Let's
begins to
just
burn.
listen to the engine here for a moment. Yeah, You see him spin up, and then you hear a slight little crack, and all the pressure from the engine is gone. So that's an oil leakage. And there we go, Ferrari.
For Inters.
Ferrari, ready for a pit stop, standing there with Inters during that virtual safety car. That race is becoming kind of draggy, don't you think? It's like just 1 or 2 laps, then we get a safety car, another few laps, and we get another virtual safety car. So yeah,
No one.
question is, are they actually pitting someone this lap, or was it a dummy? It was not a dummy. Leclerc and Sainz both driving through. It looks like they really, really just want to have someone pitting before Ferrari, and it looks like they're just getting ready to box every lap now.
Yes.
Just basically, getting a stroll with the tires, like, here, tire, that's a racetrack. That's where we're gonna put you on soon enough, maybe. But yeah, that's a huge streak of oil for such a tiny
Yes.
Formula One engine. You think it's a bottom end failure even?
Can be, yes.
Yeah.
But that costs many time for the. Ooh.
Yeah, that is a bottom end failure, no
Yes.
question. Why haven't we been shown this replay from the beginning of just yeah, that's a lot of smoke. Bottom end failure. He's lucky that engine didn't catch on fire.
Yes.
He's really lucky that this didn't catch on fire. Like, that is wow. Okay. Yeah, no. Question is, with that bottom end failure, how slippery did the surface get there? How much oil do you think leaked actually out onto the track?
I think the oil leak came after the engine broke, so just on the outside of the track.
So you think just the outside of the track?
Yes.
Well, I haven't seen any oil stains on the track myself, but usually, well, no, the Formula One cars, they're completely sealed off underneath. So yeah. Damn. But depending on how long it takes for them to clear up that car, I think that would be the call to go on mediums.
Yes.
What do you think? I think that virtual safety car would be the one to switch over to the mediums.
I think also Ferrari must box now, minimum with Sainz. Yeah.
On the other hand, you could just watch Russell. Just watch Russell, watch the timings of Russell. I mean, yeah, not very representative during a virtual safety car, but you can see, is he struggling for grip or not? How good does he speed up after a corner? So maybe they are really just taking him as a gauge there, basically, as a feeler gauge for how well a slick would perform or not, while Hamilton now is straight up the back of Sainz. Like, he is like, after that, if that virtual safety car is ending, we will see a lunge of Hamilton there.
Yes, the question is, how long did Hamilton's tire are here? So he said once he's struggling. Now it's dry up. The rubber goes from the inters. Yeah. But we see it's safety car ending.
Ending, there we go, throughout a damper part of the track. Hamilton, yeah, no, had a little bit of wheel spin out of the corner there. Looks like we are not seeing anything too spectacular right there, but Verstappen on the side cam up to Norris.
Yes, and there stands safety car ending, and Verstappen overtakes and must give this position back.
What? No. Verstappen didn't.
Yes, but it was safety car endings, and
Oh, but he
Verstappen
already. Oh,
overtakes
yeah,
Norris.
he
Now,
already overtook.
now he must give the position back.
Yeah. All right.
So we see here in the things.
Yeah, the safety car was still on, but Nice try, I would say. Nice try. But yeah, Norris's team radio there, that was dangerous. That could have gone so wrong. On the other hand, yeah, they're driving around the track at 200 miles an hour. Everything can go horribly wrong. So yeah, we are past lap 30 now. So
Yes, and
our call, Slicks.
yeah,
So yeah, it looks like Verstappen is losing a bit of patience there with his fight through the field.
yeah, he
He's
really
getting-
struggle.
He's getting very careless there, very aggressive.
Yeah, but now it's difficult because dirty air, understeer
dirty
in
air.
every corner.
Yeah,
So,
that slick intermediate tire he is driving meanwhile.
I think it's not the best compound.
So yeah, that I think that is really like one of the moments where Verstappen should just, back off, take a breather. His car is faster than Norris. He will get past sooner or later, but that is taking a breather, calm down there. Oof.
Yeah, but now Hamilton loses time to Sainz already. 1.3 seconds. So he cannot close the gap.
So Felix, another question for a prediction. If Verstappen gets past Sainz at the current standings, so we got Perez, Leclerc, Verstappen. Do you think Red Bull calls Perez in to drive slower to help Verstappen catch up and maybe even give team orders to let Verstappen pass?
Yes, I think yes, but
That yes was way too fast.
yeah, yeah, but
Oh yeah, I got here this very controversial thing. What are you? Yeah, yes. Okay.
yeah, but we
okay,
see
calm down there.
now. First of all, Verstappen must come in this situation because we
Yeah.
see him now struggling completely with Norris. Wow.
I think they just keep him out for maybe one more lap, and then he's gonna box for medium.
I don't know. It gives two opportunities for this bad driving, or for the bad exits of the corner. Opportunity one, it's too dry and the tires are overheating, or it's too wet and the inters are gone.
Yeah. But looking at the track, you see no more. Oh shit! Sorry. You see no more. Spray. Nothing. The track looks dry.
Yeah, a little bit of spraying is here, but not much.
Yeah, but
So
with that very tiny little bit of spray, you should be able to handle that on a medium.
yes, but now we see Russell is
Yeah.
faster and faster every lap. And now the second sector is 0.4 seconds slower than Hamilton. So
Yeah, and he has made up a lot of time throughout Sector 3, the last lap. Let's see how he comes out of this on this lap, as he is going into those penultimate left-handers over the line. Yeah, 42.4. Not that quick through Sector 3 yet. That is still looking like there is a little bit of moisture.
yes, we see sector 3 are wet a little. So but Mercedes must do everything. So he can't do Russell let's go
Yeah,
behind
yeah.
Bottas 20 laps. So
Yeah, kind of. So we got another interesting question I was just about to ask from chat. Hamilton's in the wall. So
Oh.
that question will not be asked anymore. Hamilton into the wall. Wow. But he managed to handle it. His front wing is still there, undamaged.
No, I think something fly away. And now Verstappen
God,
behind Hamilton. So
that was joining the track like an idiot.
yes.
Like, don't care if I like him or dislike him. That was unnecessarily stupid and dangerous. Coming back to the track like that, Verstappen starting a move on Norris, and Hamilton just basically from the sideline standing, be like, "Nope, my space now." No, that
Yeah,
was
but we
not
see
cool.
the front
Yeah, the
wing
front
is
wing looks a
damaged
little flappy. All right, box now to overtake Red Bull. That's the call from the Ferrari pit wall. There we go. Russell putting in a fastest sector 2. So now, lap 34, we are onto that medium territory. Let's see. Yeah, no, Hamilton's, yeah, not the outside, the inside. The left side of his front wing looks kind of damaged.
But
That's
Hamilton
that's
doesn't
gonna
care.
be that's gonna be the black and orange meatball flag for Hamilton there, because it looks very similar to Magnussen. And since they called him in, I personally think he could continue to drive like that.
So now the radio from Verstappen.
Yeah, Verstappen just also calling in a complaint about that front wing end plate and how it's gonna fall off. But
Yeah, Gasly is in the pit.
all right, so Gasly put on an inter or not? I would like to see some footage on that. Yeah, now it's just sparks from Hamilton's car in front of Verstappen. That's the end plate going. So yeah, that's black and orange flag, definitely.
Yes, but the race direction doesn't show it to him.
Yeah, not yet.
But now, yes. Russell fastest first sector.
Also, fastest second sector, just following.
So now the softs work. The
Yeah, there we go.
Slates.
Hamilton just
overspeed.
terrible
corner.
braking there, just locked up. Yeah, just see the replay, just locked up basically all the wheels and just straight into the wall. He was really lucky that there wasn't more damage to his car from that.
Yes.
Like those pro safer barriers. Yeah. All right. Leclerc into the pit. Medium tires, they are ready. Let's see. How does his pit stop go? Oh, slow. Oh, that is bad. Oh, that is terrible stop. 5.3 seconds right there. That's going to cost him. If they now get Perez in and just do a decent stop, and I mean, it is Red Bull we're talking about. They are the world champions in a pit stop.
Yeah, so I think that undercut doesn't work.
Yeah, box to overtake Perez. That was a wrong call.
And now Hamilton goes also.
Yeah, they are standing there
yeah.
with a front wing, so they are going to change the wing of Lewis Hamilton right now. He's in the pits together with Vettel, who is in the pits as well. Ricciardo coming up, able to pass Hamilton at least, so they are going to have to fight. Schumacher into the pits, also going for that. Yeah, Vettel going for the medium tire. Looks like Schumacher going for the medium as well.
Bottas on softs.
So yeah, that front wing change took quite a while on Hamilton's car. So yeah, no, like really, that is a miracle that Hamilton didn't have more damage from how he hit that wall. Yeah, Bottas switched over to a soft tire. Yeah, no, that wasn't terrible.
Yes, now Paris come and when they make a good stop, it's no
Yeah, if
no
they
chance for Leclerc.
Yeah, if they get, it might even not be a chance there for Sainz. Like he's 25 seconds behind. Sainz now,
Now, yeah, boxed
no,
up
2.8 seconds
2.8.
on Perez. Like Leclerc, not a chance. Sainz, nah. Pit stop loss is about 15 seconds. What do you think?
20,
15.
20 seconds, and during the virtual safety car, 15.
All right. So yeah, no. And they're taking in Sainz anyway. So Perez staying in the lead, basically untouched. How about Norris?
Also, a slow pit stop from Sainz,
Yeah.
3.5. Now,
All right. Let's see. How
Verstappen,
will they do with Verstappen? Off, on, down, go. 2.4.
1
Nice.
second
And we got a yellow
faster.
flag in sector 2 again,
Oh,
and that is the
Tsunoda.
of Tsunoda into the wall. Oof.
So sad for all them. They goes now into the pits because
Yeah. Oof.
now it gives a virtual safety car or a safety car.
Virtual safety car at least. Tsunoda on the slicks, he changed the tire.
Yes, he's the second change
Right. So
tire.
Hino is in the wall, so might the teams have
Yes,
jumped the
safety car.
gun? And we got a full safety car. All
Yes.
right.
And now it's time for Norris to
Oof.
go in and pay.
Yeah.
Maybe he comes out of the box before Sainz.
Ricciardo. That is a good call. Ricciardo has been staying out on the inters. That's going to be a slick.
Both McLarens, the only two guys
who
on
haven't pitted
inters.
yet. Yeah, so we see the replay of Yuki Tsunoda right now, and yeah, lock up a little bit of a damp patch there, and yeah, that front suspension is gone.
Both sides.
Yeah, that's just everything broken on that car. So we get another safety car. It's, yeah, the race is starting to just drag along, sort of. And Russell boxed again for mediums. Well, good call actually, because now they have to. Yeah, no, that call with Russell getting him a pit stop was fairly well made, because he has been on mediums for 14 laps already. So now behind the safety car, he is behind everyone else anyways. Now he
Yes.
can.
When the box stop goes good by McLaren, Norris will come out of the box before
Yeah.
Sainz.
All right, so McLaren pit stop. There he goes. Turning in, stopping, up, tire off, tire on, down.
Oh,
That was a little bit slow there. Maybe half a second lost. Yeah,
3.3.
3.3.
So not good, but okay. So
Yeah, but he did not manage to stay ahead of Sainz. Not by a long shot, actually. I mean, Sainz now into turn 1, while Norris is only coming out of the pit lane. So
Ricciardo is also in the pit.
yeah, no matter how good they would have made that stop with Norris, no chance to stay ahead of Sainz there. With Ricciardo, yeah, nah, that is Verstappen past Ricciardo.
3.1 boxed by Ricciardo.
Yeah, not too bad, but Ricciardo will stay ahead of Stroll.
Yes.
Yeah, fairly sure he will stay ahead of Stroll. So our new top 6 is Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Norris, Verstappen, Ricciardo.
So maybe both McLarens in points.
Yeah, both McLaren, fairly certain both McLaren into the points. I mean, Ricciardo is followed by Stroll, who I don't think will get past him. Vettel, who might get past Ricciardo, but has to get past Stroll first. Then Hamilton, who would definitely be able to get past Ricciardo fairly quickly. But first, he has to clear those two Aston Martins, who will not just let him pass throughout the last stint of the race. So, yeah. There we get another replay of Hamilton putting it into the wall. It really looked like a rather untypical error for a 7-time world champion.
Yeah, but we see at the at the uh,
No, in German.
first time just the front tires block it, and then he
Yeah, and
screw
then he
the
kind of
balance on the rear, and also all four tires
yeah,
are blocked. That's a little trick that he knows to get more.
lock in all four tires.
Yes,
Isn't that kind of stupid?
not even stupider than just lock it up two tires.
Yeah, sure, but why don't you kind of try to, release brake and get new pressure on to have no tire
When you
slip?
come with
Yeah, okay,
215,
fair point. If you come at that speed, you're just
yes,
basically panic stepping the brake and hoping
yes.
that a wonder
So
happens.
it's a wonder that he changed the brake balance to all four tires.
Yeah, so Tsunoda's car is gone. So yeah, during the safety car, Felix, as you are, just I'm repeating myself, but maybe we have some new viewers who don't know that yet. You, as a driver in the FIA Autocross European Championship, do you have a fun little anecdote to share with us? Something weird or funny or something that happened at a race, like the kind of story you don't really get to know as a viewer?
No, not really. So the only
Because
thing
you're
when you
very professional, or because you can't legally tell us?
because I'm very professional, I guess. So
Yeah,
no.
yeah, it's professional. I've seen that grin. Seen that grin. All right, so yeah, okay. Good to know.
So Perez shows the safety car he should go faster.
Yeah,
Um,
Paris fighting with Burt Mylander for position there.
yes.
But yeah, Norris had a big slip up there into the corner, almost putting it into the wall himself. So maybe it has been a little bit early to go over onto a slick tire. Yeah, King Ju. Absolutely. That was the face. That was the exact face. Like, yeah, professional. So yeah, I hope yeah, well, it isn't a virtual safety car, so I hope Paris shouldn't oversleep that one. So yeah.
And whoa, we have two McLarens in top 10 and two Alfa
Aston
Aston
Martins
Martins.
into
Yes.
the top 10. Yeah, that is quite unexpected. I love to see the Haas's up there, but being in the top 10 with 5 DNFs, that's just the top 2/3. It's not that top 10 thing that it has been at the beginning of the start. It's just basically you managed to not crash.
Yes. And Mick Schumacher, P11, still good in the game, so he make no mistakes and don't crash the wall. So
Yeah, Schumacher might even be looking at some points here. What do you think? I mean, he
maybe
has
yes, but
Gasly ahead of him, but Gasly, Schumacher, I think, with a little bit of luck, with a little bit of, that certain.
yeah, but for Mick, it's important to finish the race as
Yeah,
good as possible and don't fight stupid and make a DNF in the last few laps. So
absolutely. By the way, talking about the last few laps, we are not on a lap counter anymore, but we have actually switched over to a timer that is running down. So it is 36 minutes left to this race. And there's the message. Safety car is ending now. What happened? Why is there a safety car? Good question. Yuki Tsunoda thought he might get up close and personal with our good friend Barry R. He's from Safe Pro, and he did not like to give that hug to Sonoda, so they had to basically airlift his car out into the garage. So yeah, it is really a shame for Sonoda. I mean, he was really doing good in that race.
Yeah, so on this track, everyone makes one's mistake. So we see Hamilton, we see Alonso
so
with this issue, but
we got them into sectors 3. So while they are sneaking up onto that safety car restart, let's see. We have a DNF of Joe and Latifi, who collided pretty much in the beginning of the race. Kind of a racing incident. It is still investigated, but there hasn't been a penalty, or I am not aware of a penalty yet. So then we have Alonso with an engine failure. We had Albon, who touched a wall as well, had some damage there on the back of his car. Then right, he was having a drive shaft issue afterwards.
yes, I guess, yes.
So then we have Ocon out of the race with a bottom end failure of his car. Huge plume of smoke there, and we have Tsunoda just putting it into the wall. Now restart, Paris getting away fairly well. Kind of managed to catch Leclerc off guard there. Did go fairly well. Hamilton not doing all too well here. I've been asked that in chat. Seen the question, Hamilton just kind of a little bit of bad luck. He put it into a wall, had to change his front wing. That really put him down. Apart from that, he was doing fairly well, and I would have really liked him to win this race.
Oh, Verstappen is on fire.
Verstappen.
Oh, first.
No. That's
The
that's
next.
that's a whole lot of smoke. That was that might as well have been another bottom end failure by the amount of smoke we've seen there.
Yeah, but all champions make now.
Yeah, it's all the
Mm.
world champions
Yes.
basically setting themselves into walls, misjudging braking points, locking up wheels. But damn, that was that wow. Whew. I have seen another crash right there. God damn it, Max, don't scare me like that. Holy shit. No, holy flip-flop was it? Yeah, holy flip-flop. Whew, damn. All right, let me calm my heart rate a little bit right there. Jazam, thank you for that donation of well, doesn't matter how much really, but thank you very much for that. So yeah, holy that Verstappen launch right there, like that replay. Yeah.
Much too fast in the corner.
That was very, very ambitious. But at least he got a little bit back at Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, no, like that smoke.
Yeah. You just can hope that the tire's not gone.
Yeah, no, that is. Wait, got a team radio? Ah, shit, didn't quite catch that. But yeah,
he's in the box.
something about massive flat spot or something. Yeah, you can still see the flat spot on the tire right now, so that's gonna need a new tire. Verstappen now down into 14th, which, well, is actually the last position you can have in that race. Same goes for Russell. He is into the pits as well. So
Russell goes really slow here. So
yeah, Russell has a puncture on the rear right tire there.
That's really bad because it's on turn 5.
Yeah.
Long way to the pits.
A very long way to the pits. Now, that's the race gone for Russell for sure, but they just put on a soft tire for Verstappen, so let's see.
Yes, but what going on there with Magnussen, Bottas, and Mick?
Magnussen, Bottas, and Mick.
Bottas are P10. Magnussen.
Yeah, Bottas
11.
and Magnussen are kind of still.
Yeah, here we see.
There
the
we go.
replay.
All right, Russell trying to get past Magnussen. Just a little bit of contact there, and that was. Yeah, that just punctured his tire. So straight ahead
And
at turn 3.
also,
Yeah. Oh no, that was contact with Mick Schumacher. So that might explain why Mick is so far back. I mean, Magnussen, Bottas, looking good. Hey, 74, welcome on in with our racing statistics fans. So yeah, no, that was a weird move of Russell. Like what was he thinking? So, but yeah, now it is actually after a 100% success rate from Verstappen to win the race from every Leclerc pole this season. That's going to be the first time he does not manage that.
and Leclerc is really, really, really near to Paris.
This might be a Leclerc win, the first Leclerc win this season from pole position. So yeah, Leclerc now really putting pressure on
Oh, what's with Mick?
turn one
think
incident. Russell and Mick Schumacher noted for causing a collision.
Yeah,
So that's not too fast, but we see the picture-in-picture thing of Mick Schumacher going
really slow.
painstakingly slow there. Is he going into the pits? Is that another DNF? As
I think
Leclerc almost rams into the back of Paris. Like, ooh, that yeah. Like throughout that sector 3, still way too damp. Mick Schumacher made it into the pits, so at least he is out of the way. How is it looking with Russell? Russell made it into the pit as well. So Perez and Leclerc have a clear track ahead to battle out for that lead. Whoever will win. At least I got my hopes and dreams fulfilled, and Verstappen won't be crowned champion in that race, and we still can have that battle going on. But for that battle, of course, Leclerc really wants to get that race win, as he has
Ooh.
now got the fastest lap.
Mick has just a
Yeah,
flat tire.
Mick just emerged from the pit lane, almost disturbing that battle, but they managed to get past him, Leclerc, within that 1 second window of Paris. They he doesn't give him anything, as we get a radio message in of Sergio Perez that he is having issues with the drivability of the engine. Now, the drivability of the engine, I can't imagine what that means, but Felix, can you tell us a little bit more of what is that like with a gearbox? Is that a clutch slipping? Or is that just basically no drive, no power, general issue?
So I don't know. In a F1 car, you feel everything, so it just can be that's a little issue, but
All
I
right,
don't know.
so he is having trouble with the engine basically on slowing down as well as on speeding up. And now
Oh,
we do have DRS enabled as well, as Leclerc is not falling out of that 1 second. Perez really has to defend like Alonso here. While with all of that battling they're doing, usually you lose time if you battle for position, but they have just ripped a gap of 7 seconds up to Carlos Sainz in P3. Norris also within that DRS window into Sainz's back, so maybe we will even see an overtaking opportunity there, as Hamilton is trying to creep up to Vettel right there. Leclerc getting another fastest lap in, not able to overtake Perez down the start finish straight. Now turn 1, 2, 3, very nice and flowing made of Perez, while Leclerc is getting out of that corner sideways once again, losing a little bit of time. I think he is going way too aggressive on the throttle there, just trying to get that done, as he is getting that DRS flap open once more, punching out about 2 tenths onto Perez, who is absolutely driving at the highest of limits he can find now. Norris, meanwhile, getting very close to Carlos Sainz's rear of the car there, getting ever so slightly bigger in his rearview mirrors from lap to lap to lap. So, do we look at a Norris podium here? Might he be able to get past Sites? Felix, what do you think?
Yeah, DRS is enabled, so he has a chance for podium.
All right, so he is within 0.6 seconds of Sainz's window right there. As we are really seeing a battle for the lead here within the last 25 minutes of a race. I mean, it has been very dull up until this point, as we have seen almost more safety cars and virtual safety cars than we have had laps. 5 DNFs. But now it is really picking up. We got a battle for the lead. We got a battle for podium. We got Verstappen on a soft tire, trying to fight his way back up into the points. I mean, now he is in P12. He has been there today already when he really lost out on the start. Yet he manages. He managed to get back into that top 10, not only the top 10, but actually apply some pressure and almost looking at a podium place until, well, he just had a massive, massive lockup, almost putting it into the wall, putting him way back. Max Schumacher and George Russell had a little bit of a wobble there, which put them far back, given Verstappen basically those two places for free. But now, will he manage to get back into the points? Now, it looks like Perez has handled that fairly well, as even though he is still in DRS range of Leclerc, it is going further and further up that gap they're having. Might he have just been better on his battery power? So yeah, Hamilton and Vettel, they're having, like, I think Hamilton is fairly tunnel visioned there. Like, for him, podium has been in reach, and now he's down into P8.
Yes, but we have a group from Stroll till Gasly.
Yeah,
Um,
there
looks really exciting, and there is also a guess
we
Mick
got that
Schumacher.
group from Stroll down to Bottas, actually, who are all like within a few seconds there. So there we go. Throughout these last two corners, Leclerc putting in yet another fastest lap, but it's just not enough to get up on Sergio Perez right there. It is just close, but whenever Leclerc gets there with a lunge, he's within like 2 or 3 tenths, and then just loses out throughout the rest of the lap where he does not have DRS. There we go, another try. Nope, he is putting it back into that slipstream of Sergio Perez into turn 7. We are there, and there we go. Turn 1 incident on Russell and Mick Schumacher, who had a collision there, will need no further investigations. So I feel my voice kind of drying up, so I'm leaving you with Felix for a few seconds while I'm getting myself something else to drink, and of course him. So I'll be right back. So what did I miss?
Just Paris, they make a little mistake, but nothing big.
I've heard there is a big lockup from Perez in that time I was gone, but still he manages to keep Leclerc behind. So yeah. Oh, there we go. Verstappen now with the fastest lap. If he gets into that top 10, he gets
Yeah.
that juicy little extra point he definitely does not want Leclerc to have. On the other hand, it doesn't really matter if he gets into the top 10 or not. I think he's utmost priority at the moment is just to take that point from Leclerc. Doesn't matter if he gets the point or not, as long as it's not Leclerc getting it. That's his goal reached.
Yes, but for Verstappen it will be difficult because when he overtakes Magnussen, and that will be difficult, he have a gap from 7.8 seconds. And
Yeah, Magnussen still holding the lap record here since 2018.
yes, 17 or 18.
So yeah, that is definitely. We get asked in chat what happened to Latifi. Well, Latifi had a very early collision with Zhou Guan Yu in lap 3 or 4, lap 5 actually. They had a little get together, which both their cars broke. Then we had an engine failure of Alonso. We had Albon putting it into a wall. We had Ocon with a massive, also massively spectacular engine failure. And then we had Tsunoda, who just kind of misjudged his braking point, putting it into a wall. But now we see Perez and Leclerc getting through this last few turns of Sector 3 again. Perez actually gaining some time out of there, going onto the start-finish straight. Of course, Leclerc with a DRS again. That flap goes wide open. He is just not overtaking him. He's always like into turn 1 with about 0.3 to 0.4 seconds of a distance. There's just nothing happened. I think Leclerc has no other chance than to force Perez into an error, or to wait for an error of Perez. I don't think he will get past him otherwise.
Yeah, so Leclerc has DRS the whole time, but Checo can the corner exit better handle and have more grip on the rear axle and goes faster on the straight.
Yeah, like it is a spectacular battle those two are having, but if we're just looking at the times and the timing sheets, all the data we get ourselves provided here, the average gap stays the same for about 5 laps now. It's just half a second, plus minus 2/10 throughout the whole lap.
Yes, and we see Hamilton, he haven't the chance to overtake Vettel.
Yeah, Hamilton doesn't get past him, but Vettel making up Vettel, making up 6 places from his starting grid position. Even better, Ricciardo making up 11 points. Now, this is a strong showing of him. So, yeah, it's... But that is a battle for the lead I quite enjoy. I personally really hope Leclerc doing it while we just see a replay of him misjudging another braking point, having a small... Did he? Yeah, he had just that itty tiny bit of a lock up there. Kissed the curb a little bit too hard. That was difficult, cost him a lot of time, and he is now actually out of the DRS window, while Verstappen is creeping up on Bottas and might very well overtake him within the next 2 or 3 laps.
Hamilton is also out of the DRS zone.
Hamilton out of DRS range with Vettel, while Vettel also... There's basically no more DRS ranges. The field is now spreading out again. Verstappen coming up on Russell, which isn't too bad. He can get a little bit of a slipstream of him. I mean, Russell, of course, has to get out of the way, as he will see a blue flag once Verstappen is coming up on him. But for now, Verstappen can just use him as a slipstream. I mean, Russell, even though he had a lot of bad luck and a bad strategy call with that early medium tire there, but he is still driving a Mercedes. He found back into pace. He is not all too slow there. So Verstappen has a very strong provider of slipstream basically ahead of him that might just help him to be slipstreaming right up there to Bottas. And if he can keep that momentum up, looking at the times and the distances, I think with with some good timing of that blue flag overtake there, he might even just slipstream himself directly into the rear of Bottas and then get a DRS done there. Like, we don't see the actual distance between Russell and Bottas as they are not on the same lap, but on the map it looks like they are well within 1 second of one another. Russell is complaining about Mick Schumacher actually defending his position. I mean, if I were Schumacher right now, I would defend for my life as well. While on the other hand, that is a no. That has been a legitimate overtake. So that has been defense. I mean, yeah, Mick Schumacher is defending for his career there. So, but yeah, no, it is definitely not Verstappen on a podium, but Norris. Now, Norris versus Sainz. Do you think we will get a McLaren on the podium here?
It will be difficult for McLaren. But we see Bottas is in the DRS zone from Gasly. The question there, how are the tires from Bottas? Because he's in soft and Gasly is in medium.
Yeah, and they're both 16 laps old. Another 15 minutes to go. Now, that is a tricky call. You think
Yes.
Bottas needs to change the tires?
No. Because how many laps did Max with these tires?
Max only 7.
Yeah, 7 tires, but he pushed very hard. So when
9 by now. So you just keep talking while I try
okay.
to not have our system shut down.
Yeah. Yeah, now we see the fight between Bottas and Verstappen, and Verstappen overtakes Bottas. Looks very easy on straight with DRS. So nothing big.
Yeah, so Verstappen's soft tire at the moment 9 laps old, so that is a good window for the soft tires.
Yeah, but
He is having all the grip he would want.
not all the grip. We see him very struggle out of the corners.
Yeah, we got a
So
call from the stewards there. Perez is waving at the safety car is judged an infringement and will be investigated after the race. Max Verstappen already up on Gasly, so this is I would defend that position. If I were Gasly, now I would defend. I mean,
yeah, he's out of the Red Bull Junior Academy, so
yeah, no.
he nothing has to lose. So
Like, yeah, I mean he tried. But it's just yeah, no, it is fair driving and yeah, no. Having the Alpha Tauri put up against the Red Bull, no chance. You might as well get out of the way. I mean, I don't know. I do that with my sim racings. If I drive leagues as well, if I have someone behind me who I know in qualifying was like 2 or 3 seconds faster than me, I just let them pass. I don't even fight it. But then I try to tuck myself into the slipstream. You know, now Gasly could get that pole out of Verstappen to get up to Hamilton, but no, he does not. Absolutely not. He has already lost almost 3 seconds to the Red Bull. So, yeah, no, that's not happening. That's unfortunate. So, yeah, we got a Hamilton team radio, who I did not understand at all. Looks like he has just been apologizing to his team for letting them down. I don't know. It's
yeah,
one of those I don't know, PR messages he's doing. Like I don't like those. Like, oh yeah, no, I'm so sorry to the team. So yeah, no, you're sorry for I don't know. But yeah, Max Verstappen now coming up on Hamilton.
Yeah, with around about 6 laps to go.
Yeah, roundabout. All right. So there might be, for that safety car infringement, there might be a 5-second penalty for Perez, which would actually put him behind Leclerc. Might be a win for him. Not the win I'd wish for him. I always hate. I really, really hate it if racing places are kind of, decided after the race has ended. So yeah. All right. There we go. Now it's gonna get interesting. Verstappen coming up on Hamilton fast. So yeah, we might see a fight between them right up to the finish line. So that's my call. We will see Verstappen and Hamilton fight for position here. Ooh, Leclerc. Another little incident throughout turn 16, I think that was.
Yes. Something
Not sure, 16
that,
or
yes.
11. They look kind of similar. But yeah, now he is losing out to Perez big time now. 3 seconds behind him. Not even like if that continues like that, they will definitely not stay within that 5-second window. And we have Russell back in the pits once more on a soft tire, probably just trying to get that fastest lap.
Yeah, but brings nothing because he's place 14. So
Yeah, sure. Maybe it's just, get that fastest lap, not as a point for Mercedes, but as a point not for whoever. So let me just quickly have a look at that. Where is Mercedes currently battling? Well, Mercedes is kind of battling Ferrari here, so I could understand them wanting to take off a point there. I mean, it is only about 35 points between them. That's a good race for Mercedes, or one bad race for Ferrari, and Mercedes could actually become second. What?
no, we see Verstappen is near to Hamilton.
Very near.
Yes. So
So that's going to be a DRS zone. DRS use right now. Yeah, but Hamilton himself can sneak up that DRS from Vettel. So we got a mini DRS train right now. So yeah, it doesn't matter if DRS or not, as long as Hamilton can keep up with Sebastian Vettel there.
yes, but
DRS won't be of much use to him.
yes, but he have no DRS Hamilton.
Yeah, he just dropped out of that DRS range, it looks like. Got back into it while, yeah, it's just he's swinging around that 1 second. But also, Hamilton is out there on a medium tire, 19 laps old, while Verstappen is creeping up on him on his 13-lap-old soft tire.
So once again, Checo makes fastest lap, 1:48.
Yeah,
Five.
148.576 fastest lap. Now that on a medium, now it's getting very spectacular there. I mean,
So
as Russell, of course, I would still try and go for that fastest lap, but as Mercedes, I wouldn't care if Red Bull got that fastest lap, as long as it is not Mercedes. As long, yeah, Russell, no, as long as it's not Ferrari getting that fastest lap point, I think that is pretty much the thing they are going for. So yeah, I do hope we get a clean end to the race right now, as everyone is just kind of trying to do that lunge, just throw tissues and prayers at things and hoping to get through the things. I mean, Leclerc is still within that 3 seconds time penalty to Perez, so it might be that we see a Leclerc win declared, as we still don't know if Perez gets that time penalty or not. What do you think? Will it be penalized or not? Or
We'll see. I don't know. This time I look on the sector times and on the strategies. So
yeah. All right. There we don't go just yet, but Perez, Vettel, and Hamilton all within 1 second of one another. Very, very close to one another. They're going into sector 3 now. I mean, that gap is that eeny beeny tiny bit, but as long as Vettel is able to defend that, we just have ourselves a mini DRS train, as
yes,
they are now storming up into turn 14. So now that is basically the wettest part of the track still sees some water standing there. Not really enough to throw up any spray, but the track is still wet there, but they managed to get through that fairly well. They're really all within 1 second. So Verstappen basically is within the DRS window of Sebastian Vettel there, as they are getting through the last corners, now speeding up through the former Singapore sling. Vettel, of course, trying to get as far away from them as possible, and still nothing happening in terms of overtakes. That Verstappen Hamilton thing, it is really just a fight for P9, P8. Who's getting in first there, as we are looking at the last 3 minutes and some change there. While Perez gets another fastest lap, or is it still the same fastest lap as he had before?
still the same.
Still the same, but it looks like yeah, Russell just got himself 3 purple sectors. That's undoubtedly a fastest lap for him. So
146.4. That's
another,
2 seconds faster than Checo.
yeah, pretty much 1.8 seconds to be exact. So almost 2 seconds faster there. So yeah, and I think Paris is not getting a fastest lap there. As soon as he's getting close to it, yeah, nah. George Russell is just snatching that back. Ooh, Verstappen looked a little twitchy and fishtaily there, so might. Why? Why are you laughing, dude? Doesn't it look like a fishtail when they
Yeah,
wiggle out of the
you're
corner?
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm getting creative words out there, okay? So what else? Yeah, no, Paris is really pushing. Leclerc seems to be falling out of that 5 second window. And if I look at that, he is at a gap of 4.5 seconds now. Yeah, he is really trying, but I think that might as well be Perez sealing that win off for himself. Currently 4.8, yeah, he is going around the track way faster. So we're within the last 2 minutes of this race.
And Sebastian Vettel must to defend like a lion to.
Yeah.
Oh, and
And Hamilton misjudged
big
braking point,
mistake.
lost out to Verstappen. Damn, what's going on with Hamilton? Like,
Yeah, really
mm,
much
I would
mistakes for
bet
him.
money on at least a Mercedes win in that race.
Yeah,
And now we're basically seeing Hamilton struggling to stay within the points, while Russell is like one lap down in the last position.
but in the replay we see that was really close to Sebastian
Ooh,
Vettel.
yeah, he
So,
almost
oh,
took out Vettel there. So not too bad of a judgment to basically just be like, all right, you know what? I'm taking off, going into the runoff area right there. Because if he would have committed to that, he would have taken Sebastian out with him. So, question now, will Verstappen manage it to get past Sebastian Vettel within the next 30 seconds? So, we do have Perez leading, now enters sector 3. His sector 3 times are more than 30 seconds. So, we are now looking very much at the last lap of this race. Perez being his 5 seconds clear, 6.5 at the moment. So no matter if he gets penalized or not, if he is not massively screwing the pooch or the flip flop, I don't know what my censorship words anymore. So if he doesn't really screw the pooch now, or I stay with screw the flip flop. He will have won that race, no matter if he will get that penalty or not. While Verstappen got a daring lunge on Sebastian Vettel there, but not able to make it past him. I mean, he is currently just within that DRS window,
little mistake
chasing
from
him down
Verstappen.
into that last sector, but I do not think that he will get past him before the end there, as Perez is now through. Clock has reached 0 quite quite some time ago. That should be checkered flag. I don't see the checkered flag out just yet.
Yeah, I think
Weird
one
call,
lap.
but yeah, it is. The timer has run out. It is a Perez win.
No, it's the final lap.
Oh, it is only the final lap now, so it is time running out, and then over start finish, and all right. So now we're in the last lap. Yeah, now Perez is ripping that gap open to Leclerc right there. I mean, 7.5 seconds at the moment, so I don't think anything can take that from him now. Russell still the fastest lap by about 2 seconds ahead of Perez's fastest lap. So yeah, no, that there is not too much happening there, but Verstappen, of course, having another go on Vettel right there. Will he get past him? No, just about not. Now this is getting aggressive. Verstappen really wanting to get that 7th place. I mean, he started in 8th, so it would be nice to finish it in 8th. And there he goes. Yes, Verstappen passed Sebastian Vettel now, going into 7th, having quite the solid gap there, actually. And Russell kind of cheekily sneaking in behind him. And there we
That's
go.
a
Perez
win.
over the line. Won that with a solid 7.5 seconds to Leclerc right behind him. So no matter if he gets penalized or not for his behavior under safety car, never mind, he has won that. It is 25 points for Perez, leading that race into the finish line ahead of Leclerc, followed by Sainz. That will be our podium. So that's well, yeah, Mercedes is going to be very, very unhappy with that, as their best result is Hamilton, who hasn't gotten over the line yet, but I don't think he will get past Vettel in those last few corners. And yeah,
Now Daniel Ricciardo sees the checkered flag, my personal driver of the day.
yes, Ricciardo definitely. I mean, Ricciardo made up 11 places from the grid. Solid drive, not very outstanding for a Formula One driver, but definitely outstanding for the struggles and performances we have seen from Ricciardo so far. My personal driver of the day, throughout all of this drama, in the last few corners or laps of the race here, I have absolutely forgotten to vote for my driver of the day. I hope you didn't. It didn't really go too well for Mercedes here. That is very unfortunate, as this has been the one track I would have seen them get a win in this season. But yeah, Verstappen's pass on Vettel there, beautifully made, perfectly staying on the racing line, just perfectly using that little mistake, that little bit of a few centimeters that he has been going wide, and just that has been very nice. And even though Verstappen's performance throughout this race hasn't been too bad, actually, he is not world champion right now, which makes me happy because I hope this battle drags on for as long as possible. So yeah, I would have, I don't know why couldn't have science been a little bit slower? I mean, a Norris podium would have been great as well, but
Yes, but I think Andreas Seidel is really happy about
yeah,
P4 and P5. So
P4, P5, both solidly deserved. Like no luck involved in there, but really just deserved P4, deserved P5.
and also
Huge. That is,
Martin, good job, P6 and P8.
yeah. The Aston Martins. That is unexpected. Like I really didn't expect the Aston Martins to be up there, but that is, yeah, that has been quite a dreadful race in the beginning, actually. What do you think? Like the whole beginning, like all the safety cars, virtual safety cars. It was almost getting a little bit boring there, but like that last 20 minutes, those have been
interesting. Yes.
intense. So yeah, next up, Suzuka, Japan.
I'm excited.
7 days from now. I'm not that excited because that's gonna be very early in the morning for me. So yeah, um, very nice of King Chu for that €20 donation there. Wish all Checo fans a very pleasant P1, McLaren fans for the 5, Aston Martin fans a 6 and 8. And an amen for Alpine, Williams, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo fans. Yes. We're voting Vettel driver of the day here. We're saving it for the final race. I think I will save Vettel as driver of the day for the final race.
Yes,
If
of course.
if he is doing a great performance as well, of course. Like it's not just, I'm not gonna vote for him just because he stops, but that he stops will be like 10% bonus on his performance. So yeah, that has been fun. I hope Biggles can repair his fucked up internet connection there. Maybe get his dingo locked up in a better cage or something. But yeah, that's about it. Perez won that with 7.5 seconds, so that 5-second penalty won't phase him if it comes to that. Followed by Leclerc, who was not able to change another pole into a win. That was kind of unfortunate, making me sad a little bit. But yeah, then we get Sainz, followed by Norris, Ricciardo, Stroll, Perez, Vettel, Hamilton, only down in P9, followed by Gasly, Bottas, Magnussen, and Schumacher getting on P12 and 13, followed by Russell, who was able to snack that final lap, fastest lap away. So once again, we got Joe and Latifi colliding very early on in the race, only in lap 5 or 6, bringing out the first safety car. Both damaged their cars too severely to continue. Then we got an engine failure of the Alpine of Alonso, followed by a crash of Albon. And then we had a massive bottom end failure there of the other Alpine of Ocon. So their engines haven't really passed the stress test of the Singapore race. And then, of course, we have a very unfortunate ending for Tsunoda, who just put it into a wall. Completely unforced error there. Anyways, that's about it. That's what happened. And yeah, great race. Jose, thank you for that other donation. I've been Feral, joined here by Felix. And yeah, I think that's been about it. My pleasure, and we'll see you for Suzuka.